practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden symbols and messages, as well as all the lyrics of all the top rock songs. And they all sing the same refrain. It's fun.
This is a special request. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimilla, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Well, there you go. Nice smoky intro. Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show.
With the dubstep.
You like that? It's pretty good. Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm your co-host, Mitch Shinasa.
And we've got in the studio today Mr. Garrett.
Oh, the illustrious Paul Garrett.
The illustrious Paul Garrett, exactly.
Illustrious.
Well, he's got his beard.
I don't know what that
that's
means, but it sounds cool.
So, obviously, Paul's going to be here to talk to us about glass.
Yeah. And, we've also, and we have also in studio our new tech.
New tech, and not in like our new way of making oil. Ryan,
what's going on,
guys? To make us more professional.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do that. I think we've achieved professionalism.
At least for us, this is the apex of our
professionalism.
Our professionalism.
Our own version of it.
We can shoot for organizational, I guess. Right?
Sure.
That does not work in my life.
Yeah, I mean, we can be organized.
It doesn't work in my life either.
That's why we got you around.
But we have a great show because we're talking all about glass.
Glass.
We got Paul.
We're
got
Hefe
Hefe from Aqua Lab coming in. Nice Aqua Lab shouts. We got some Aqua Lab giveaways, which I snatched a hat from.
There you go.
What else? We got Rambler calling in. Shouts to Rambler. And we're going to try to get hold of Isaac from Dub.
We got Dougie from Hitman.
Dougie from Hitman is going to tell us all about Chalice and some other stuff he's got going on. What else is happening this week?
We got a few, and I think there may be a few other ones.
Yeah, glass blowers are like that.
They're kind of artistes, so we don't know if they're going to actually be there or not. We don't know. You just never know.
And I'm psyched because I don't know, like I think a lot of us have seen Degenerate Art, and I think that's a lot of people's intro into like the history of glass and the culture of glass. But in the case of most 2-hour documentaries, that stuff usually tends to leave out a lot. So I don't know how we plan to cover it in a 2-hour radio show, but fuck it, let's give it a shot.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
we'll cut out the bullshit, maybe.
No bullshit, and maybe we'll just
or it'll all be bullshit. It's one of the two. Yeah.
It's all going to be bullshit.
I'm going to have to go with that one too.
All 2 hours.
That's what we do.
Nothing but bullshit.
Speaking of bullshit, let's go right into some stupid news.
Are you going to news already? I thought we were going to do updates, life updates.
Oh, life updates, of course. I forgot about you.
I've been a dad now for 3 weeks.
How many weeks has it been?
3 weeks as of yesterday.
How many
Have you been sleeping?
Dude, this kid's awesome.
Oh,
it's
really?
because we went past the due date, and my whole argument was like, well, the early times are when that thing can't sleep. So that little girl. I didn't, it wasn't real to me when I was saying it.
Keep it baking. I prefer my baby well done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you let those happen inside rather than outside. So this kid's like pretty mature. She like climbs up. She can climb up me.
She's 2 weeks more mature than
exactly. And so she's chilling. We're outside of that curve. Yeah, she sleeps like a champ, eats like a champ. Awesome kid.
Yeah.
But again, I have to say, like, being a grower definitely prepared me for being a dad now in more ways. For example, the midwife comes and they're like, oh, you want to keep it around 78 degrees and around 75% humidity. I was like, no problem. Like,
perfect.
I can do that without even thinking.
So just keep the baby in the grow room.
Yeah, or sure. The lights are an issue. But
in the veg room, because it's a little high humidity.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that in the flower.
And then, just everything you have to measure for a baby, you're measuring, like, when else do you really have to measure 1 milliliter of something? When you're using Aptis and when you're measuring something for a baby.
Yeah, and how about like transplanting and handling a baby?
Oh, for sure. Exactly.
Like, you know that feeling when you're like, oh, if I just do this, I could kill it right now.
Yeah,
I could just kill this thing.
You got to hold it delicately.
Like, so there's a lot. There's a lot of
so many skills cross over. I almost feel like everyone should at least raise a few plants before they raise a kid.
Yeah, and then the egg or whatever. Walk around. While walking around.
Yeah, but the egg you don't have to keep alive. Like, you can just kind of like put it on a shelf somewhere. Yeah. Like,
roll it over there.
If you're smart, you'll hard boil that shit and you'll be good to go.
You're just like flipping that shit around like it ain't nothing. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that it's been a very good. That was the thing. I was lucky too because Nick was really good at sleeping early on, and so I was like, yes, master those skills, son. The sleeping skills. Those are very important.
That's when they grow.
Of course.
Well, I think that's what it is, dude. Chill parents, chill kids.
It should be that way.
Oh, but I did just need. We disproved this new study. This new study just came out. That old myth that it lowers your sperm count or whatever. Now there's
the old sperm count.
Yeah, and I just saw a new study hit.
Everything fucks up your sperm count.
Right. Mountain Dew, Gatorade.
Yeah. Snickers.
Cell phone.
Walking down the
that
street.
one, the cell phone in the pocket.
Participating in life.
Tight
It all
pants,
lowers
tight
your
pants,
sperm
tight
count.
pants.
Tight pants for sure.
That's a proven
Briefs
one.
instead of boxers.
Yep.
But supposedly,
So it's amazing anybody survives. In this
I'm just saying,
Being
it's
on the
amazing
radio.
if marijuana lowers your sperm count. It's amazing that we both have healthy, good sleeping and eating kids.
You got to smoke.
But that has nothing to do with sperm count. That's just about
No, it doesn't.
Well, I guess
Because
you just
millions
need
are
one.
going anyway.
Right, you
and you
just
just
need
need
one.
one.
Need
one
special
All right, but our one was like a good one. Fuck it, if you're getting rid of all the shitty ones.
that's the whole idea. The long way, right?
Like you're only I'm only shooting 100, but all those are world class.
I have a friend that used to refer to his kid as his strongest swimmer.
That's what they are.
There you go. Proven.
And then I had someone tell me, like, no, actually, it's the weakest swimmer. Because the strongest ones, they, like, tire out before they get there. I'm like, oh,
that's
come on.
That's not. I mean, that's just like
That doesn't make
sense.
for a
That's the
good
most
joke.
spastic
Come on.
swimmer.
Come on. How can you do that? All right. Well, that was your update.
that was my dad. Do you have
My
updates?
update is wife and baby hanging out in Sweden, loving it. Out on a boat today.
So free time.
Oh yeah,
That's your
No,
update.
it's work
Oh,
time.
man, I
That's not free time. That's work.
free time means twice as much work. Exactly, like never ending. But they're back Tuesday, so that's my big update. I can't wait for them to see that. That'll be great.
You said Nick's like bubbling out there in Sweden. Like
killing
the
it.
10-year-olds are impressed.
Yeah, he's hanging out with 10-year-olds. He's like
He's two, man.
he's 2, and he's all like you 2-year-olds, forget about it.
Sweet socialists. Grow up.
And all the 10-year-olds think he's super cool. That's the funny part. They're all like, this kid's got like a cool hat, and he's like coming in. So
And he got his dad's beard.
he's got the beard already. No, he is not. He's so not bearded. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how unbearded the 2-year-old is.
So,
So news, you're so excited to tell this
well,
story.
this is good. I just got this thrown at me this morning.
I know. but
Literally,
you
like
love
I walked
you
in
love this
and
story.
literally this got thrown at me. But okay, I didn't even really read it because it was so ridiculous that I just thought I'll experience it with you because
Oh, that's what it's about. Yeah.
It's so bad. So it says a Florida man was arrested after beating brother with a 3-foot marijuana plant.
That's
Now-
awesome.
Marijuana plant.
Now that is pretty awesome. And basically the cops have arrested a Florida man on domestic battery and drug charges, of course, after he completely lost it and beat his brother with a 3-foot pot plant.
A 3-foot pop.
That's like a Kindle stick. I mean, that.
Yeah,
happens.
that's not a very strong one.
it's
You know,
not
it's
a
not
great-
like a tree trunk.
No,
or
and
anything.
it's
It's still pretty small.
if anybody understands, like, it's not hurting at all.
Yeah,
Like, there's
at
no
all.
pain. That's just like it's like a flurry. That's a flurry.
Yeah.
That's
You're
that's
getting,
more
he's
like
getting
murder
brushed
than
with
assault.
leaves.
It says the heated exchange culminated in Rodney uprooting several of the spiky marijuana plants on the property
They're spiky
and
plants.
beating his brother's face. Oh yeah, they were spiky enough. So, I mean, you get a little bit of stick action out of about 3
You could
foot.
get a scratch.
You might get a
could
little-
get a scratch.
a little
And
nick
if
in the
you get
face.
some shit in your eyes,
That's what I was
it'll
about
burn.
to say. You might get some resin in the eye. You know. I mean,
So
that
when
can
they
happen.
arrived, they found 10 more pot plants in Paraphernalia, and he was arrested on drug charges as well. So it was like a beating. It's like a double stupidity one on this.
It was
one.
real dumb.
That was a good bet. That's I mean, and then they have
The
photos,
news
of course.
Screenshot, like when they show you the summary on the news, and it's like, these are the facts you need to know.
Fight with brother. Marijuana plant uprooted. Brother hit in the face with plants.
Are those the tags?
That's a tag. Yes.
Billy hemp seed said poor 3-foot plant.
Yeah.
I know.
That poor plant.
Poor
Hey,
plant.
let's shout out Way to Grow.
Of course, right off
Way
that.
to grow, dude.
Don't uproot your plants.
So, yeah, check this out. So, yesterday I was looking at Bike's Facebook, and he likes to help people sell their gear. And it was 4 OG Grow hoods for $400. And I was like, someone's going to Way to Grow to buy an EPAP. That's all I could think.
For sure. Yeah, just get rid of 4, get one good one after that, right? No, it's like EPAP's $400 this month, and that is out the door. That's awesome. 'cause
That's crazy good. And the EPAPs, those are, if you're...
normally they're like $650, and then maybe if you're lucky you'll get them around $500. But
They're excellent lights.
$400
They're double-ended bulbs.
definitely worth it. Yeah, double-ended, super
Better
long
spectrum,
lasting.
better par. More lumens per watt, right? They're like brighter,
Yeah,
better par, better spread.
They kick out. I mean, they have 1150 setting on them already. I think so.
Oh, wow.
So you can just kick them right up. They go to 11. But yeah, they're really and they're in 6 locations. At all their locations, these are going off, right?
Yeah, I believe that's.
I saw it at the Boulder one yesterday.
Boom,
So
Boulder.
I was
Seen
down
it.
there yesterday, too.
Boulder, Fort Collins, Lakewood.
Denver,
3 in
Colorado
Denver.
Springs, and then Central Denver.
Yeah, the new one in Central Denver is the Big Daddy. That's 20,000 square foot, and that's at 1051 South Platte River. Check it
Right
out.
on. So I was reading some news. My favorite news item since our last show was Maureen Dowd of the New York Times. Who,
Oh, that was a good one too.
and like, I read the Times was the newspaper you read when you're from the East Coast.
you're
Like
in the
that's the
East Coast.
paper, you
Yeah,
know. So, and I generally respect their editorial opinion, but that shit was funny as hell. And like, I don't intend to rebut her point. I think that's been done adequately by everyone. That like, no, you just ate too much edibles. You didn't follow the instructions.
Listen.
That's why you got. But it was really fun. Like her description of how high she got. I've been there, Maureen. Like, I know you. Like I know that you're just on the
But
couch.
you knew what was coming.
Knew what was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, there
And-
was,
and you knew
but
it
no,
would
no,
pass.
I've been there. There was one time when I was at someone's house. They're like, oh, I made this medicated Nutella, and the thing about Nutella is you probably shouldn't eat 6 tablespoons of regular Nutella
Right.
mixed with butter, let alone if there's weed in it. But that was the case. And dude, like I had to pull over in a Panera Bread to throw up, and then I was just like tripping face, and I had to like find a homie's house to lay on the floor for a few
At
hours.
least you were at Panera Bread, so you get something else to eat.
No, I feel like I didn't even do that because I felt so queasy. And that happens. You know what? You go too hard on the edibles,
Right.
it happens.
I mean, it's like that cop a few years back who
Oh yeah,
confiscated
that
I
was
wish
a-
we
that
had
was a
that.
confiscated that brownie and actually called the police and said he thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he thought he was dead on the phone with the police.
Yeah, he was an idiot.
I don't understand how people lose reality to that extent.
Dude, you haven't hit the edibles hard enough.
I don't know, man.
Well, I don't eat so many edibles because I get so fucked up
After
on
the-
them that I pass out.
See, it's that, yes.
Like I don't have a weird
That's how
experience.
know-
I just go to sleep.
No, that's how I know you're not eating enough because it's not when you pass out. It's when you pass out and then you wake up and you're like, what is
Exactly.
this? I have never woken up this way before.
I did
Yeah,
that.
you always
I'm a big
get
guy.
high.
Once
You go-
I'm down, I'm down.
You always you metabolize. I mean, I do at least with edibles. It's like the next day, I'm like, oh, well,
Right.
now I feel it. Like the night, I'm all, yeah, I'll eat it. You know, occasionally something will catch me like that. You know, I think when you're in that perfect, you're in that perfect
popcorn snuck
spot.
on you, right?
The popcorn, for some reason, snuck up on everybody. I don't know why. What was up with that?
Dustin's tincture this year at the Cannabis Cup, I mean, was absolutely
There's certain times when
That shit was
certain
insane.
things just rock your world. I had this. The weirdest one was in L.A. at the Expose when they had that year. They had some party on the side, and there was no alcohol in the party, but they had marijuana milk. They were calling it. You ever had that?
No, but tell me more.
And it was like, guy had a little thermos, and he's like, "You want some marijuana milk?" And I was like, "Sure," you know. And he poured. He says most people take about a thimble. I was like, give me a little more than that, right? So
Shot glass, at
So he
least.
gave me like a little paper cup thing, half full, and I just drank it no problem. And within 20 minutes, I literally felt like I was kind of getting twisted to the right a little bit, and I was like, "Oh no, here it comes! Like it's coming on quick!" Because I know
A certain direction.
there's a certain thing. It feels like someone's pushing me from behind a little bit. Like, hey, what the fuck? Stop pushing me! And then there's nobody there, and you're like, "Oh no!" And then I start losing
Here
the
it
power of
comes.
speech a little bit, and my mom was there, and my mom's like, "Oh, you're losing the power of speech! Oh no!" Because she knows too. It's like
I
if
lose
they,
the power of speech all the time anyways.
well, that's from other things. Alcohol usually.
half the
Alcohol.
time I can't understand you.
Hey, it's come on, you understand. But in general, yeah, it was probably the strongest thing I ever had, just because it hit me in 20 minutes, and it was that milk combo, which
Where
is
did
a
you
weird.
get that at?
It was just random. It was a
Rando, it's one of those. But that reminds me of the Chai guys, and they're coming back to the lab, right?
Yeah, they should be. They got stuck in Kansas because of the tornadoes or something.
Chai droughts.
Tornadoes. So they had to hunker down. They said.
So, all right. So Maureen Dowd, too much edibles. Sorry to hear it, Maureen. But now your tolerance is high. Go at it again. Give it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
the point of that experience. Now go hit it at now you can safely hit a 50 milligram Incredibles bar, and you're crushing it. The other thing, this one's for you, Adam, that I caught in my news.
New one.
This one was Forbes. Why multitasking is worse than marijuana for your IQ.
Seems
hold on.
How about that one, Mom?
Look at you. Look at you. over there, Mr. Monkey.
What makes it more
Hey.
stupid? Smoking marijuana, emailing while talking on the phone, or losing a night's sleep? Researchers at the Institute of Psychiatry at the University of London studied 1,100 workers at a British company and found that multitasking with electronic media caused a greater decrease in IQ than smoking pot or losing a night's sleep.
Well, I agree on the smoking pot part.
So, no, I mean, on the one hand, you lose a lot of sleep, you smoke a lot of pot, so you're making the safer choices there. But it goes. So it goes on to say, for those of you
Wow,
in
multitask
Colorado,
we all do.
this is
We all
like the
multitask, though.
national article. For
Who
those of
doesn't
you in
multitask?
Colorado, this means you should put down your phone and pick up your pipe. In all seriousness, in today's tech-heavy world, the temptation to multitask is higher than it's ever been, and this has become a major issue. We don't focus, and we do too many things at once. We also aren't efficient or effective when we stay seated too long. So they did this energy project audit, and they found that 69% of workers have difficulty focusing on one thing at a time and are easily distracted during the day, especially by email. And
Well, that's
apparently, we
obvious.
spend 28% of our work week fucking with email.
Well,
That's
I
pretty bad.
believe it.
I mean, we all, like you said, we all multitask every day. But at what point does multitasking become too much?
There's
multitasking,
multitasking,
too,
and then
like,
there's
a problem?
attempted multitasking. Right. You're like driving,
Very
talking on the
fine
phone.
line.
That's one thing.
It's funny
You're
though, when you-
doing a radio
very-
show, going on Facebook.
I
that
very
doesn't work so
rarely,
well.
I very rarely do I try to do any kind of thing while I'm doing a hit though. So there's something about doing a hit or doing a dab. It's hard to like text. And
Dude,
dab
I
and say,
seriously
tried,
thought you were
but
talking about killing people when you said doing it. I was like, what is he talking about?
I
Killing
mean, dabbing
people
is more involved.
Yeah, you
know,
have two hands to you. It's hard to multitask.
You got to be holding your dabber and
Yeah,
the torch.
yeah.
And you'll
you gotta
burn
be
yourself.
watching it to make sure.
Soon we'll
that-
have a Google dabber or something like that. Where you can just like, and you can just like
Google dab.
you can Google and you can just do everything at once. It'd be awesome.
from your cell phone, turn your
Smartphone,
email on.
email.
I
Yeah.
like that. Google dabber.
I've been
It's
thinking
like,
like
doppelganger, but kind of twisted.
there, all right, so you're gonna build that out, or you're leaving that lie. I definitely read other news. Oh, big news! This was the one that wouldn't print. Like those tax numbers came through for Colorado. It was like 20 mil
Since January.
since like I feel like that was in April or some shit. That was our big tourism month.
And that's
you know?
and that's
Yeah.
Colorado as a whole, right? Not just Denver.
That's Colorado as a whole. I wish I had the article in front of me. I'm sure they've definitely talked about it on iCannabis Radio. If you want a more reputable coverage of the news, that's
Watch
not
it.
really our specialty.
Yeah, news is with schmooze. We like
But-
the good stuff.
But no, I mean, look, it's working. You know, they and in this article that was circulated everywhere, it was
Right.
like, yeah,
It's-
it's
I mean, it's
working.
everywhere.
It's rocking out. The arrests are down. Oh, crime's down 10% also.
I mean,
Money's
yeah.
up, crime's down. Like, who's not
That's a
happy
good
with that?
thing.
That is called winning as far as statecraft is
I mean,
concerned.
and it's all going back to stuff that has got forgotten about, old school curriculums, music programs, things that.
Oh, and
matter
yeah,
to
let alone the money
keep
going to
people-
schools,
right?
For sure.
That's what a lot of it's
So
about
that like
too.
that 20 mil didn't all go to schools. It was like 2 mil went to schools, but still, that's
$2
like our
million
school.
that-
Yeah, that's a bunch of money.
I mean, and that's new tax revenue too. That's not dividing
Right.
up already tax.
It's not like,
revenue.
oh, it used to be going to roads and now it's going to schools.
yeah,
No,
this
this
is
is
brand
that
new,
same amount of
fresh.
money is going to
Right.
roads, and now there's money going to schools. Exactly. So that's awesome. Oh, and other unrelated cool news. You see that Occupy Wall Street settlement?
No,
I got to shout out to my boy Sam. I don't know if he listens to the show, but I grew up and became a weed guy. He grew up and became a lawyer, and he just sued the NYPD for $538 million
nice.
and won on behalf of 14 Occupy Wall Street protesters who were
That's
arrested.
that's awesome.
It's always
Yeah,
good to
dude,
have successful
kudos.
friends.
Dude, I mean, that's $500,000 less fucking like army tanks and, you know, crazy the shit they get. And they get it at a bargain. I was just seeing a thing this morning where like the $238,000 tank the police department buys for like seriously like 3 G's. So when you consider how much crazy fucking
They get
armaments
distributor
they're buying for
pricings.
half a So yeah, dude,
I want
that's
a couple
$500,000
tanks. So can we
less
get
like
tanks for
Sonic
Canada boot camp
things that no, because we're not the fuzz.
That's so when you see those things in the magazine that says $3 Jeep, those are real. You're saying like
I know that you can get like
remember those? I was always like, come on now.
$3 You build it yourself. It's like plastic, and you assemble
No,
it.
yeah. It's supposed to be army kickoff stuff, but
Yeah, not quite.
So,
Other news. Rest in peace to Grey Wolf.
of
Cover that
course.
real quick. I don't
Yes.
know. Did you know Grey Wolf, Rob?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was one of the first guys I met when I started coming out here. And actually, he was always hanging out down at the other studio in Warren and them's old office.
Uh-huh.
And I remember he was exactly the kind of person I was wanting to meet when I got here, an old hippie guy.
Right.
You know, that was just been around forever, you know, just doing it and all that. And I didn't realize he had moved to Oregon, you know, until the news of his passing came about. I thought he was still around.
But yeah, so definitely rest in peace to him, a central figure and kind of like one of the on the activism side and on a few other, you know, the early scene side here in Colorado, a mover and shaker.
Yeah. Always a part of it for sure.
Yep. Mr. Wolf.
Speaking of movers and shakers, I mean, Incredibles.
Incredibles, our other top sponsor, Incredibles. Here you go, Mr. Paul. Whoa. Quiz. We got to quiz you. You can't just sit here and just be like hanging around. You got to do
bust our balls.
Yeah. All right.
I thought that's why you invited me down.
Name 3 Incredibles bars.
No, at least name
Boulder
5.
Bar.
Come on.
5.
Strawberry Cough Crunch.
Is that even the right name? That's not the right
Monkey
name.
Bar.
Yeah, let's hold him to
And
that.
gummies.
Gummies isn't on our list, but they do make them.
Yeah, you're so
but he said bar. We said bar.
Yeah, you screwed up on like one syllable. Anyway, yes, good job. Good job.
Good job. You know what
you know I'm gonna hold you to the syllable, of course. Come on. But
because I would do the same.
Are they the best in town, Paul? Come on.
They're my favorite.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Did you miss them when you moved out of state for a little while?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You cried.
Big time.
Yeah. How much did you cry?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Big
publicly.
fat candy tears. Big fat candy.
Fat kid missing his candy tears for sure.
Oh yeah, I can see it already. Imagine, that could be the next label.
It should be.
It should be. Crying
the
redhead.
special whiny little bitch.
Whiny redhead
bar.
The whiny redhead bar.
The teary ginger, I call it.
There we
ginger
go.
flavored. Oh, that'd be good, dude. We're telling you guys.
The teary
but Incredibles
ginger.
are everywhere.
If it's going to be a my likeness, it has to be watermelon. We all know that.
That's why he gets the
Watermelon ginger. I like that.
Watermelon ginger.
Watermelon
ginger
ginger.
and mint.
That's not bad. That's funny. I was thinking
Whip it up, guys. I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, while you're chatting on the mic, Paul, let's introduce you for your specialty that we brought you in for. I don't know if you know this is your specialty, but we're going to talk about the history of paraphernalia right now. And this, as I did completely fail to explain to everyone, is even before the history of glass. We're talking about, and Adam, I feel like you're going to help me on this.
A little bit.
Like the African ground pipes. You know
yeah,
what I
I used
mean?
to-
Like
yeah.
the first,
Sure.
the ancient methods before. Like, let's bring it up from like cavemen fucking just lighting the bonfire and being in the
little
cave.
wood things. I had a replica of a smoking. It was probably considered to be the oldest smoking utensil ever created, and it was like a rock, and it had a hole through it that was big to small. And it wasn't like sure if it was like a natural. It looked weird because it was one of those things like, did somebody find it?
Water
Just
could
sorta-
have done that or something.
Water
yeah.
could have started it, but it was supposed to be an exact replica. It was made out of resin, so you couldn't smoke out of it. It's like, that's kind of stupid. I was like, I got it. I was all, well, this is dumb. It's made out of plastic. What's the point of that? Should have made it out of stone at least or something. But the idea was pretty cool. And whether or not it was the first one, I don't know. But that was considered to be, that was, I don't know, 10,000 years ago or something. And I don't know. Before that, I'm sure there's.
Before that, I mean, it's your crude leaf blower, right? You have to build the bonfire.
I'll go straight to the leaf blower. Yeah, we go from that. Sorry, we go from that to the leaf blower. That's pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else in between, is there?
And I mean, you have
Was there something
in
else?
between. You have like interesting things with steam, where you would like be in like a sweat lodge and they'd steam.
Oh yeah,
it
that was the
rather than burn it.
Scythians. That was the Scythians.
Yeah, the Scythians.
Or
yeah.
Scythians. Yeah, Scythians.
And then you also had the ground pipe, which is. I guess they build these in Boston to this day, from what I hear.
Is that what it started in Boston?
No, it must be like an Indian thing.
Ancient Greece to Boston.
It's like I think it's like one of those native
ground pipes.
native
Back down
tribes
years ago in
handed it
Boston.
down, and but apparently you dig like this long, like 10-foot hole, like tunnel.
They do it in Denmark and stuff a lot. I
Okay,
think in
so
Europe.
maybe it's a Viking thing. Who knows? And one
We're
dude
moving
like
around.
sticks his head in.
What's
the
wrong with
end,
my people?
And then you light it all on one side, and then you blow it through. And so that's like that's the African ground pipe. That was the first one I could find. And then it goes. Then you get the bong. Like pretty short thereafter in Thailand.
I had getting limp on you.
It's awesome because you just
Limp
keep
mic.
going with it.
I'm with it, dude. I'm
Tilt to the side with the limb.
until I can't anymore. So then, yeah, in Thailand. Well, then you got like the little pipes Moroccan pipes and shit like that.
Yeah,
Sebi pipes.
Sipsies, those are called Sipsies.
What's the ones from Jamaica? The coconuts with the just
Chalice,
that little pipe that comes right
those
out.
are a later, in the grand scheme of things, those are before like American bongs. But like those are definitely like the Thai. You find old school photos of
killer
Thai
ones.
dudes hitting huge things.
Yeah, huge.
And then like what's
they're pretty much shaped like a graphics, like old school graphics. Like
Yeah.
I had at the old shop back in the day, we had like a museum wall, kind of with the progression of what we thought, similar to what we're talking about, like just kind of bump on the wall. And we had these brass ones that were like nasty because they were brass, but they looked dope. You know what I mean? And then they had these wooden
Middle
ones that
Eastern
were
style.
definitely usable and. You can just pick them up and down there everywhere, and everybody's just kind of hitting off them. And that's really such a classic shape. Boom, fits good.
Yeah.
It's got the little.
And it's
tiny
awesome because
bowl.
you got this like little old grandpa Thai dude, like really small, looking like Yoda, and the thing's as big as him. He's like sitting on a step, so it can be long enough because he's like 5 feet tall, crunched down, and that shit's 5'6". He's ripping that, and you have like old grandmas ripping them. So I mean, that's the stuff I've seen when I look at like old historic stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Then
I don't know,
obviously
when did the
different
bong come
leaves.
to America? This is a question that I can trace it as far back as the late 60s, early 70s from the soldiers that were stationed in the 11 bases that were in Thailand during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, for sure. There would be an obvious of the same pipes we're talking about right there. I don't think before that.
There wasn't a lot of Native American use that you found?
Not
Nah,
bongs, not
bongs,
water.
no water.
Yeah,
All more dry.
because if we're talking about glass, we kind of, hand pipes for sure, but
Yeah.
bongs are really what glass specialized in.
Oh, yeah.
And the word bong in Thai means either like how if you like have a hammer, the head of the hammer has a hole in it so you can put the handle in, that's a bong. Or it means a long bamboo pipe. So when you think about like those two meanings combined, that's pretty much a bong that we you
Yeah.
know. So that's
That we've grown accustomed to.
yeah. So
With the you're talking about the nail now.
no,
They've
you're
even-
taking it. You're getting out of order. We're talking
sorry.
historic.
yeah,
So, all right. So the first one interesting thing is maybe someone who's listening to this show is old school enough to know. If you look at like the first patents for pipes, the Ching Pong Chuan, whatever is the name of the first dude who patented a bong in America in like 1968.
okay.
He references in the patent. Oh, we have a caller. Maybe someone knows this. Oh, right on. Is it? Are they on the line?
Yep, I'm here.
Rambler, what's going on, bud?
Not much, man. Fucking driving around.
Nice, dude. So we're talking right now about like the whole history of paraphernalia, sort of like ancient times glass to modern, and we kind of just got into like the first bongs in America. The first, because we kind of like bongs came from Thailand. We established that there were a certain number of bases in Thailand during the Vietnam War.
Blowers generally refer to them as tubes.
Yeah, I know, but our listeners are growers, and they call them.
It's a water pipe.
Yeah,
We're
but
not-
no,
we're
I
not
mean
in the
like the
store.
legit. I
I
mean,
know the
and as
first-
we said, the legit Thai word for that is a bong. So that's what. Now we can change it to the evolution of tubes, perhaps. But also the patents we're talking about in like 1972 talk about. I was just about to say there's this book that allegedly came out called the Bong Owner's Manual. It came from Jack's Novelties in College Park, Maryland, somewhere in the late 60s, and that's the first reference to the word bong in print in America. Da-dum.
Dun-dun-dun.
All right, so Rambler, take it away from what you know from there, man.
Okay, well, I guess the first, tubes that I saw were, stuff from like the 60s and 70s were, acrylic or masonry, or pottery, and then they
Yeah,
just
like
had
clay,
like metal
for sure.
slides in them. And, that
Finger
was kind of
garbs.
like the very beginning. And then, in the late 80s, early 90s, you had graphics. Graphics was the first.
When was Smoke Master?
No.
Was that not before? Was that before or after graphics?
Who?
Smoke Master?
You mean the Toke Master?
Toke Master, yeah.
Toke Master. I believe you're talking right there around the same period of time
Okay.
where you're getting into these acrylic tubes. And,
Were they
these were the first
That was
the first
before my
things that
time.
people really saw a whole lot of.
Were they based out of Phoenix by any chance?
Who's that, Toke Master?
I don't know. I know graphics.
Paul J?
Graphics was in Wisconsin somewhere.
Wisconsin.
Around
what
Milwaukee.
It's like the last place you'd expect right now.
But I mean,
they
Of all
just
things,
outsourced
Milwaukee
the
was
acrylic
head of
pressing.
culture at that point.
There you go.
Paul, what do you know about this?
But, and then later in the 90s, graphics really started making some tubes that were basically just a straight piece of glass, and they had like a little plastic base on them that had like a head or some sort of weird thing. But they still had, metal slides at that point, and, after them, the next big thing that really kind of took the tube somewhere else was the Jerome Baker. And, Jason was a lot kid, he did a bunch of Dead Tour and stuff, and that really kind of was the beginning of the marketplace for these pipes. At that time, there weren't really stores that sold anything like this, and the only place you could really see something like that was on Dead Lot.
Is that like 91 or something?
Yeah, I think we're talking like early mid-90s.
Is that like 91, 92?
Yeah, you're talking right there in that period.
I think that's funny because
he came out to Amsterdam in 93, and that's the first time I met Jason and his crew, and they all kind of came out there, and that was the first time we had some sort of heady guys.
And how did that impact? How did that impact in Amsterdam? Were they feeling it, or was it not?
It was interesting. I mean, my spot was a lot like my place here, where it was like you had to know it, and if you knew it, then you were like, "Oh, this is really cool." And it wasn't like I had big signs outside. I had one little sign outside that had like a CIA ripoff with a logo with the with the eagle with the joint hanging out of his mouth. That was the only difference. So, but you had to know that in a little door. But his, the funny thing with those guys is I kind of got suckered by them a little bit, I have to say, tiny bit, because I was all about heavy glass. I wanted it to be heavy and thick. I didn't want no chintzy stuff. I was like, no, it's got to be heavy. It's got to be thick. So I told them, hey, listen, I'll just pay you by the gram, And then they all started taking the shit and just like throwing marbles on top of marbles on top of marbles. And I'd be like,
that's exactly what I would have done.
And I was like, well, that's not exactly what I meant. I kind of meant I want, heavy wall. And then I didn't really want it to be like just slapped on, But him and I have stayed friends over the years, so it didn't change our friendship, even though. But he had a whole crew of kids, and they all came to Amsterdam and just kind of sponged out over there. It was pretty funny. It was like.
So did people dig the heady glass out there?
To a point. I mean, the Dutch are very particular, man. They all roll joints, and it's all mixed with tobacco.
Yeah, no, I was definitely challenged.
There's probably like one out of every 1,000 smokers would even attempt to smoke a pure joint. You know what I mean? Out there, they're just like, oh, they get knocked out. It's weird, right? Surrounded by it, they're like, no.
You're a madman. With the time, that's what when I mixed hash with weed.
Probably a lot bigger over there, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you were there.
They became big. They became big.
That was a little later, though.
That was later. I mean, the funny thing is that I was selling graphic. I had people coming over to Amsterdam. Keith and all these guys would come over with just shitload of graphics, and they'd end up dropping like a bunch up at the spot. So I'd have all the sizes of graphics, all the down stems. This is like even a little later when they started putting they had the glass in them and everything. So they were all actually the proper pieces at that point. They were glass on glass with a little mini tube, So that's when I think we were at the next step where they were like, okay, that's where the flavor part starts to happen. You're like,
Before then, everyone just had shitty weeds out there, man.
Yeah, well, before that, it was always the action of it all, and there was so much like metal on plastic on whatever, and we all like glass on glass on glass.
Was anybody, Rambler? Was anybody using that rubber gasket style that Jerome Baker is so known for really before he started making? I mean, with the
on the slide unit
to put his downstem in there.
He was not the first tube company. He was just the first. We'll say corporate tube company. Like they were the first ones to really
who got their shit
take
together
it and go huge
made a
with
business
it.
out of it.
But
Yeah.
before that, I'm not that old, but I worked with Jason Lee for a year and a half, and getting information from him about how things used to be. But the beginnings of the double and triple perks or whatever were actually all grommeted in as well. So
when you go back to the perks, I mean that's still stepping forward. I feel like I had a question. I wanted to go back and say like, so what was that point where like someone who was smoking weed obviously was like, hey, I know how to blow glass. It happens to be a hobby that I have. I'm going to use this not just to make a functional like, oh, here, I made a glass bowl for me to smoke out of right now, and started using some of the techniques that we know today? And how did the techniques evolve from like
Well, I guess
just blowing
let's
glass?
start with the history of glass, more or less, here. The
That's
Venetians
perfect.
were the first ones to blow glass, but they didn't really...
Wait, the Venetians
do it
were
in,
the first? You said?
Yeah, they were the very first, and they didn't necessarily do it in the full manner, but they were the first ones to ever try to blow glass at all, and they kind of worked it somewhat. Then the Italians, picked it up, and they really created the style and all of the techniques that we use today.
And there's still the same like Italian terms, right? Like I don't know much about glass,
Yeah.
but the Volio, the Maria, that's all like Italian.
Yeah, they're all Italian terms. You know, the Italians have been blowing glass for 3,000 years and have really honed everything about it.
Are there any Italian
working,
like pipe
I'm sorry?
glass? Are there any Italian glass blowers today working? Like a family that's been blowing glass for 3,000 years that now makes pieces?
There's lots of them, and there's an island, that's like pretty much just glass workers.
And a lot of them do different types of glass, not just borosilicate.
Soft
Most
glass,
of them
and
do
stained
soft
glass.
glass,
and shit.
It's more soft glass.
It's mostly
than what
soft,
they're
yeah.
doing. Borosilicate or hard glass is something that came around later. 1870, 1900, right around there is the beginning of lamp working and the advent of torches.
Is that called lamp working because you're using a torch or because they used it to make lamps? I never knew that part.
Because it's the term that they use for people who use a torch in order to blow glass.
Okay.
I wish I knew more, but that's...
And so like lamp working is the proper kind of term for what glass blowers in our community do, right?
Glass blower is
Any
more of a
pipe
slang
maker is a
term.
lamp
Right,
Lamp
they're lamp
worker is more
workers.
the proper term.
Right.
And then, you'd have people that are lathe workers that, generally make tubes on a machine.
Right.
And,
It's like
the
PHX
skills
style.
That's
have
Joel,
pretty
too.
much all
Yeah, I mean, that's all your
taken
bongs.
from soft
Yeah.
glass.
Tube, Paul, please. Tube.
Two.
We're not in a head shop. It's a
Yeah,
bong.
yeah, it's back to bongs, baby. So again, let's kind of try to pinpoint as best we can. Who knows if we can that point where someone was like, okay, there's this acrylic tube being made out there. I'm trying to do this, out of glass.
Well, in the 70s, there were starting to be some people that were, blowing glass. Bob Snodgrass was not the first glass blower.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. He wasn't the first
No.
doing
He
pipes,
wasn't
right?
the first, but he was the
he just
first one to
discovered
really
fuming.
popularize fume tech, and on Deadlock, that's what you saw.
And fuming
that's
is,
really where-
speaking of fuming, for people who don't know what we're talking about, that's like when you stripe it, right, with like a metal?
Yeah, it's basically
what you're doing is you're heating up a metal and spraying it onto the glass. At which
Spraying
point then
it?
we
Or like-
encase it or
Fuming
do
it.
different things to it to get different
Interesting.
looks out of the same thing.
So I'm going to pull out, this is a good time to bring up, we're going to do a giveaway at one point in the show for some Chemdog glass. The man himself, Chemdog.
And when I listened to the Chemdog story, I was super stoked to hear, how close, glass was directly related to that story.
Oh yeah, and when I pull out, some of the stuff we're looking at of his, it's kind of cool because it's almost like a frozen in time type thing. Like it's like going back.
Exactly.
You're gonna love when you see this stuff. You're like, wow, this is like
Yeah.
no one makes shit like this anymore. So Adam, I'm gonna let you talk to Rambler for a second while I go get the glass.
It's like
Ooh.
1995 again. Like
Exactly.
it
Millies,
was
Millies,
the
and
empty of the glass.
Yeah.
And because there weren't very many colors out yet, fume was really the big thing at that time. So,
oh yeah. No, it's funny too how the phases go. Like fuming was hot because you could explain to people by throwing it up on your black shirt, and explaining what's popping out
change
there.
your color, bro.
Exactly, and then it would be like, what? And people be all fucking tripped out over it, and then all of a sudden they'd explain it to the next guy, and it was part of that. That's part of the culture,
It's double blown color changing glass, man.
Double blown. Whoever came up with that term has caused us just.
That was definitely someone who worked in a head shop.
I mean, that's all. That was all I
it's
heard
like
in high school and college.
It's like
triple
a sales
blown, man.
job.
It's triple blown.
Like, people used to come into the
what does
shop
that
and like
mean?
ask me like is this double blown?
Like,
and so I just
no.
blow on it and be like, it is now.
It's not.
I don't think I've ever made a single pipe that there was only 2 blows on.
Joe,
Like,
I have a question about color changing glass, because when I first bought a pipe and they're like, oh yeah, when you get resin on it, it changes color. And I was like, are you just saying that this thing's going to look different when it's dirty? Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah, you see the things you didn't see because of the background on it, so you're like, oh, color changing.
And that's been one of the funny things about how popular clear tubes have gotten lately. It's because color changing hid how dirty it was and like made it look cool.
Right.
And now you get like a clear tube, it starts getting dirty. Like, man, this thing's fucking filthy.
Yeah.
And it's like a fraction of the dirtiness that you're used to with
that's kind of like the interesting about the trends in glass. It was color changing, and then it kind of became line work. Different types of colors manipulated into different patterns, and then clear stuff became popular. And nowadays, people are interested in, we refer to them as toy pipes, critters or weird little things that are maybe not necessarily as built around function as they are the interesting thing that it is.
Form over function.
That's the exact opposite of my way of thinking.
That's what you're seeing a lot.
Let's make sure it works first, then we'll make it look cool.
Let's make sure it's pretty.
People that are having guitars or like Boba the Fett helmets that are just
well, those are sick. I mean,
insane,
I can understand that.
Work.
I'll never use it.
My buddy
I want the Darth
Banter
Vader
made
one.
the,
I'll never use it. I want it.
Pretty much all the cool Star Wars stuff, but he made a full-size Boba Fett helmet, a full-size Vader helmet, just real stuff. Whatever he puts his mind to, it's just perfect.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting now how it has gone next level. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's only getting more and more crazy by the day. Actually.
Oh yeah, like the color has really gotten to the point that where you can really get into it, and there's a giant palette. I mean,
and you can make your own colors, right? Like is that what a color pull is, or is that when you line up the basic thing? Because I feel like Joel's talked to me about making some colors, and
we have crucibles or furnaces that we heat and melt the glass in now, and this is really something that they put on the market, about 5 years ago, and that was really one of the things that kind of held Boro workers back, is that in soft glass, everybody makes all their own color. Like, that's just, nobody buys color. It's just made.
And that's like a painter. You mix paints on your palette, and then you make the color you need.
And now we're really starting to get into that. Like Joel says that he makes that pink and that purple, and those are his colors. Nobody else has them. And that's original. And that definitely makes a difference.
So I just wanted to show off I got some of the Chemdog glass out here. And the piece we're giving away is this Chillum. Right here. Hold it up. I don't know if you can see on camera.
I can't see it.
I don't know if I don't know if the listeners can see it on camera, but it's super old school. As we were discussing, like, you don't really see.
Put your hand behind it. Make it do
things in this
black
style.
It'll never look
done,
put it in front of the mic.
Done well.
In front of the mic.
Like, every time you use it, every time you clean it, like, you're gonna get a different, different look into the same thing.
So, but it's all fumed and covered in millies, and it's really a really nice piece.
It's a very old school feel to it, I mean it.
And so the millies, for people that don't know what those are, millifiore is the word in Italian or whatever, and it means small flower. But in Boro and pipes, we've used the term to mean any small picture. So
how do they make those?
Use a whole bunch of color, make some sort of picture, and they pull that down.
So you basically stack a bunch of rods together to form a picture, like you're making an 8-bit sort of picture type
you
thing?
You can stack them, you can melt them together, you can, mix the colors together to give you different shades. It's it's really crazy. The militaries have really jumped up in value recently, and there's a lot more people making them and collecting them.
And then, like, these also have a lot of marbles on them, too. Not this particular one I'm looking at. And that's its own thing, right? Like, how do you make a marble? Oh, there's a nice mushroom marble on this pub.
A marble is just a round piece of glass. So
right, but like with a thing inside
and then
it.
roll it in a mold in order to make it completely round.
So you make a little sculpture of something in 3D, and then you encase it in glass, basically? Like when you see a marble with like...
Marbles are generally more layers. Like basically you build a layer up, and you put some sort of image there, and then you put more clear in a different image, and the layers of it create whatever the image is going to be of the marble. You know, like dot stacks are another big thing in marbles, where basically you put a dot, put another dot, you put another dot, and then they just stack up, you know, and you get really interesting looking effects. Sometimes
but when you see someone make like a perfect...
you can get like a scaly look and like...
When you see someone do like a perfect, like Homer Simpson head or something encased in a marble, or like a skunk
That's a
face.
milli.
It's always a milli if it's a picture, even if it's 3D. Okay.
Yeah. Because what the marble does is, since it's so much clear glass and the shape of it makes it a magnifier.
So this
So
is...
it actually looks bigger. That's a mushroom marble. That's actually put inside there.
Okay, so someone made the mushroom.
The way that is done, like that's the first thing most people learn. Basically, you heat the glass up and you push a stringer, a very small piece of color, up in there. And now the reason that it creates the mushroom is when it hits the back side of the clear that's still cold, it pushes up against that and makes that mushroom shape because it's pushing against the cold glass and it can't go
it's
the direction you're trying to force it.
That's sweet. That's cool. I'm learning a lot, actually.
Yeah. That's some of the earlier techniques that you learn as a glass blower.
So what else would be what else would be an early glass blowing technique?
I mean, you know, the first thing you learn is how to make a spoon.
Yeah, that's
usually frit.
And so describe frit is like drawing the lines on there?
No, frit is it's you help me out with this too, Rambler. It's like little shards of glass that you can put a bunch in and it makes it a solid color. So it's hard to fuck up
when people
almost.
use frit, they don't make it a solid color. They just mix it in there enough to like give you a splotchy effect of it, so that you have like a dynamic. So there's different parts to it, and
are there any examples of frit before us here?
Not that I see.
You should have brought your glass, buddy. That's unfortunate.
I don't think I have any frit.
Thing is powders, which is
it's basically a powdered glass that you can bake into
and then coat it on the glass.
And that just like changes the texture of the finish or something?
Not really. Well, like traditionally in those smaller spoons, it's inside, but you still want to melt it in so that way it's smooth and doesn't come out when you're smoking out of it.
Right.
But nowadays, you're getting these guys, like Salt, who does the textured stuff, and he's doing frit on the outside, and that's what gives it the texture and the feel to it.
He uses frit, but that's probably mostly powders on there that you're seeing. And then the other thing that Salt really does is that he reduces the color very hard, and it gives you that kind of, we'll say, nasty look. It looks like it's something from nature. It's creepy crawly.
It's less shiny for sure.
Yeah.
It's not shiny. It's more like dull and like earth-like, and something just crawled up out of the ground on you.
And that's what he's going for.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going for. So awesome.
At one point, and learned to do the carving from him, and then really was the next person to take carving really far.
So carving, that sounds like a pretty advanced technique. How is that done? Because that's Salt's stuff that are like little sculptures.
Is like breaking the laws of glass, or the rules at least. Glass gets its strength from its smooth surface and its consistent wall. The thing with sculpting is that you're manipulating that wall and creating acute angles, which is generally bad to do in glass. But they basically go through a process where they manipulate the wall on the inside so that it's not, if they do it right.
It's not parallel to the outside anymore?
It's even on the inside then and not acute angles. Acute angles give it stress and make it more likely to crack. So, there's a lot of people that do it. and it, you know, you definitely have to be careful about how you do it.
Paul, you have any
And be
wisdom to add to
cautious.
that?
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
that's
because if you do it wrong, somebody's going to buy a pipe and it's going to break, and they're going to be upset. You know?
yeah.
Right.
And there are some even well-known guys out there that are well-known for their carving that their pieces tend to crack pretty regularly. But
Yeah.
luckily they're very willing to fix them for these people, you know, as long as you clean it properly.
Right.
And again, that comes into the form over function of, are you going for the art of it, or are you going for it to function everything? Because, you know, I mean, like guys like me, I have a huge glass collection. I've smoked out of maybe a tenth of it.
Right.
And I don't ever plan on smoking out of it. So, like, it doesn't.
Is that like an investment for you? Or is that, do you consider it as like an asset, or you just consider it as something you like that
It's
you want
just
around?
something I like.
He's
you
a
know,
hoarder.
I mean,
He's a hoarder.
Yeah, or you just
I
do
am. Ask
do you
Christian,
collect
he
like
helped
big
me
head
move
bobblehead
storage units
dolls?
yesterday, like my baseball card collections, my action figures, all this stuff.
Okay, so you just
So yeah, I just collect cool
I started
shit. That's
buying
how
glass
And don't even
because
use
I
it. You're that
loved
guy who
it.
didn't use your Star Wars
And
figures either, right?
right.
After having so much of it for so long, I look at it as an investment because I know that some of the pipes that I have were extremely valuable when I bought them. And now those blowers are even more famous and more important. And, you know, you got to think about it. Like, when Pablo Picasso died, like, the value of his stuff went up.
Oh, for sure. No artist is really truly appreciated. You can't tell, well, because
And since
you
we've- and since
can't
all glass
tell
blowers
how
are 10
influential
years cut off right off the
they'll
bat,
be
just
until
until
after.
later on,
Yeah.
and very often they're passed by then.
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly. And like that's
In the case of like Snodgrass, though, and that's the interesting thing about the fast evolution of this versus painting. You know, not only the time it's happening, but the sort of small devoted pool, like a shop. You don't really have that phenomenon of a shop full of painters grinding all night, 3 nights in a row on Mountain Dew and cigarettes to do like a collaborative masterpiece. Like that doesn't happen.
No.
And it happens in glass
You know,
all the time.
yeah, and it's becoming more and
I
more
throw
popular.
a
Yeah.
piece of my soul
It's
in
almost
every
more like
piece that I
computer
make,
hacking or
you know, like,
coding.
and we beat up on ourselves, we burn and cut, and, you know, this dedication to the flame is an interesting life.
And I think it's really interesting, and there's a brotherhood to it because it is almost like forge workers, or you know what I mean. Like you're
craftsmen, you know.
yeah, you're
Like,
craftsmen.
and
You're
you've
you're
learned-
artists, but you're also craftsmen. You know.
And then there's sort of, you know, obviously there's lingo and there's unspoken and there's all sorts of that stuff that goes along with it. So it's hard for the outside to kind of get it sometimes.
And it is,
but
like
it is
a-
awesome when you cross over, like when you show somebody who's normally used to like their you know their own high end world, and you're just like, okay, whatever, and you pull out a piece and it's like, you know, oh my God, look at that, and then you get some appreciation, and they don't, you know, balk at the price or anything like that, you know.
For sure, and I think
You know,
that's
often, like, there's a lot of pieces these days that people don't know are pipes. you
for
know?
sure.
Like,
The fact that they're pipes, I feel like, is almost secondary. It's almost like it's like nomenclature. Like you got to do it just because that's the challenge. You know what I mean? But it's all about, you know, a rap has to rhyme, but a rhyme isn't a rap. Like it's all about how
It'd
you
be way
deliver that.
easier to make it and not make it a pipe than it would be to make it a pipe.
Well,
you
for
know?
sure.
Like,
Yeah, because you got to worry about the air control and all that, and
that's an interesting bit in the evolution is like the perks, you know, as I know it, like the dome perks are the first. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Dome perks the first.
Domes
perk,
are the first in a tube. Yes,
and Chris from PHX invented. I know he has the patent for it. I don't know if it was done before then.
yeah, I mean, the first person to do any type of third perk would have been, you know, Jason Lee and Ezra and Kevin Nail in like the 90s. Now it wasn't necessarily inside a tube.
It was like a ass catcher perk.
They were surge perks, but they were, you know, it's a
Hang
ball with a bunch of holes dropped into the bubbler.
yeah,
Right.
and a lot of like double bubblers, triple
They
bubblers.
Right,
started making basically little sections of that would get grommeted into each other in order to make, you know, basically something like the THX, but long before people thought of ring sealing things together.
Right. And then from there it was like the tree perk, right? And that was Steve. I forget Steve's last name.
And then you had the dome perk, and then JP Toro came up with the tree perk. And the tree perk
Toro, I feel like, wasn't it Steve who was? Yeah, Steve.
Aha,
exactly,
there he
right?
is. We're going to have him jump in.
Yeah, no, please jump in.
No, as far as I know,
Mr.
it's Steve
Hefe
at
from
Glass
Aqua
Tech.
Lab.
Yeah, exactly.
Jump
That's
in
what I
the first tree perk,
did. The
the
first tree.
forearm.
Yeah, the forearm
So we
tree.
get into your world.
Toro did
Still
like
the best functioning perk.
best functioning until you have to clean it.
You scrunch off.
You know,
No
the major
way.
thing that kind
It's
of
a
sucks
bitch
about
if you get
trees is
chunks.
that you have to clean them every day, or they will get
Yeah.
filthy and you can't get it off.
Exactly. You get the chunks in there that are never coming out, and you're like, how did that even build up in like? You have
It goes
small
quick,
slits.
too.
Yeah.
Well, especially
Yeah.
now.
So before
Group
that, though,
smoking.
there was the inline, which
Right,
Steve
the inline.
Hobbs created.
Okay.
Which is basically just
It's in a couple
straight
pieces we have here.
tube coming down, and it's got slits in it.
Right. Right.
And now you have
And it's
stem
horizontal.
lines, which are an adaptation of that. You know, you
That's
can
inline.
keep going
Yep.
all
That's
day
inline.
with perks. And now there's
That's a
the
GFI,
recycler,
right?
And there's all these things. I personally like a regular tube with a 4-hole perk.
And
You know,
so,
it's whatever you're into, but I think that you.
Are there
you'll
any
never
other-
get the
there's a
same type
Swiss
of
perk,
flavor
right?
Out of something else.
where did
as
that
you do
show up?
I think Nate Dizzle was the
Nate
first
Dizzle, I
one
was
who
gonna say,
did
yeah, yeah.
the
The
Swiss
Swiss
perk?
perk. And it's
Nate
I-
Dibble didn't come up with the Swiss perk. Jason Lee did, but Jason Lee taught it to Dizzle, and then Dizzle
made it
ran
his-
with it as his thing.
Right.
Do you have an input on that?
No, that's what it is, as far as I know.
Yeah. Sweet. So that's and then showerhead, like that's the other perk there is, really?
Showerhead is, basically a circ. Basically the same
Circ,
thing.
yeah, same thing.
A different terminology of the same thing.
Hey, so Rambler, I'm actually realizing we got a little carried away there.
You
with
rambled
Rambler.
on,
Yeah, you
Mr.
rambled.
Rambler.
That prone to your name.
Good job, though. Good job, though. You definitely-
Excellent.
How do you think
Thank
he
you
got
for.
his name?
I think
yeah.
you laid it out pretty well.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for helping us lay the foundation here, and we always love talking to you, homie. And we love the piece, dude. A great addition to
Sweet.
the arsenal.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Yeah, bud. So, interesting thing though is I feel like one thing that made a huge difference in the sort of the price, like when growers on Dead Lot, I assume, got exposed to this high end expensive glass, and these are guys who are used to going shopping at Way to Grow, perhaps dropping $400 on a light like it ain't no thing.
Like nothing.
That's what you got to do.
At least a G.
And I mean, like that's
You got to spend a G. Come on.
if you're getting started. I always say if you're getting started, you can go to Way to Grow.
Yeah, there's 2 lights and a little bit of extra.
And
stuff, so
you can just get started and do your 6 plants for, if you're going to buy as you go, I think you can drop $500 and be operating.
You can. I'll do G.
Right? Am I wrong?
I'm growing twice as much. as
No,
you.
exactly. But if you're just learning,
But
like if
you're the sage master. You know?
I get it. I get it.
He's talking
Oh, yeah.
some guy off the street that goes, you know what?
Yeah.
I think I want to grow some pot.
All right.
right.
Still,
So
if
you're walking away to
I say
grow and get it for
$500,
cheap
right?
and
I say
have
if you're
the end
growing
result.
6 female plants, you're going to pull at least an ounce each. If
what?
you're an ounce a piece.
A beginner at
You've Adam, not the sage man.
Come on, you gotta get more ounce. Don't make it
Someone
sound-
who has
What
never
is the-
grown pot before and who
gonna get a
stumbled
couple.
upon the
You're
show
gonna get a
today by
couple.
accident.
You're gonna get a couple.
Dude, I've
But so you're going to
fucked
get
up
at
plenty
least
of my
6
early
ounces for
shit.
$500 is what I'm saying, and that's
All
a deal.
You can do it.
That's a deal.
Yes,
so
you can
that's
do it. You can
holler
do
at
it.
him. Okay.
All right, 500.
I'm glad.
I'm
now,
going, I'm going for a G.
and with the money you save, you can go buy Incredibles
Yeah.
to your heart's content. Stack up on the
Yeah,
bars.
you go like his way, and you'll get a bunch of Incredibles, and you'll be working twice as slow, and I will spend twice as much, and I'll come to fruition quicker.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like you can't make plants grow faster with money. I've never
I know.
heard that trick.
Well, yeah, you get more lights, more things.
He does kind of have a point.
Just buy more.
So you're going to just come to greater fruition.
Yeah, fruition. Faster.
So
anyway, that was
still,
a nice
then
little
you can still go
segue.
get the Incredibles. Is the main point.
You can always get Incredibles. You don't need a $500 worth, though. Do you?
No, $500 worth of Incredibles.
That would be a lot.
I mean, if you're paying rec prices, you're still not getting very many.
Come on,
it's still 50 bars, right?
dude. That's a lot of THC, dude. That's a good deal on THC.
It's a month and a half of getting pretty crunked there,
Yeah.
or a month at least.
For $500, that's and the thing about
500
edibles
a
is they
month.
do stack up, dude. If you bow down 3 of those bars, you're good for a little while, man.
Yeah, they stack up, and day by day, they don't really. I mean, even though
Breakfast.
your tolerance sort of builds up, but it's still pretty. Like it takes a little while. It takes a good week before you're.
Yeah. So let's Hey, we got some music. We got thrown to us by Hash Money. They're homies of mine. I think we can access it. We're gonna cue that up. Hopefully play a little world premiere. Their album's dropping next week. They're homies from my hometown. It's #$ Hash Money. Very clever, right? They're clever kids.
Whoa.
We used to spray paint
Hash
on walls
Money.
together and stupid shit.
So
like
are we taking a break while that goes
We're
on?
gonna take a break while that happens.
Oh,
I
we
just
never
wanted
do
to
that.
kind of
Normally I just
cue.
ramble like,
I know.
I used to make
we
everyone
have all this
sweat.
glass. If we don't use it, it's kind of a huge shame.
All right, so we're gonna take
we're gonna line that up. We're gonna get it lined up. Chris, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go. You ready to rock?
Okay.
Nice. Here's some Hash Money for you. We're gonna enjoy some of our glass. Yeah.
Yeah, they really feeling G right now. My peeps about to really steal a Jeep right now. We in the streets right now. Like, we ain't really got nowhere to sleep right now. You hear this beat right now? Fuck a bread line, son, I'm trying to eat right now. Full tank, I'm on E right now. Talk soup, yeah, I'm on E right now. Bet you wish you had a G right now. I'm at your girl's house, she be like, I'll be right down. Yeah, the brain is off the leash right now. Deep throat shit, sliding past her teeth right now. And you be all what's beef right now. And throw your things out, get you off the leash right now. Yeah, I'm with her in Belize right now. And got more keys in China, got tea right now. Rolling weed right now, blowing trees right now. Spaceman, yeah, we smoking on a sheesh right now. Y'all motherfuckers, feel this beat right now. 360 degrees right now. Get your gun, get your piece right now. And like lick 3 shots to police right now. Feeling like I'm in Greece right now. With all these young things covered in grease right now. Space Jesus, I'm a priest right now. Focus PvP right now.
Hashtag $5 I counted to infinity a lot of times in a blacked out infinity. On my grind, NJ license plate. Hashtag $. I just do this shit in my downtime. On my iPhone, flipping all these pound signs. With the fast money symbols, I move to work when I see the hash money signal. Dark brown, hash bricks. I could build a fucking house, mansions, plant shit. I got that black shit. Can't stop thinking about my weight like a fat chick. Y'all need to take a break from this rap and get raped in the ass by the ancientest master. Hash money on a boat, eating shrimp. See my gold teeth and squint. I'm shining.
If not now, then when? Playboy shit. Feeling like I'm cute, she's a bunny. Molly in her juice, fuck up my Reebok money. She keep a bunny in her undies. You got 5 on it, we got 20. And got honeys like Bun B. That's not my girl, she a custody. Bet I serve her like a country. And why you wanna cuss me? Like why your girl trust me? It's a cold world, trust me. And leave the gold to my trustees. Go commando to the club, keep it funky. And beat the pussy up like it tried to punch me. Your whole network is 1G. Your whole net worth is 1G. 26 letters, 1G. Your shorty a jump off, bungee.
Fun with the bunny, professing their love. I said they can't really get it, it ain't big enough. I got a fat ass booty, all this junk in the trunk. I say you can pick it up, no dick in the butt. It's that world
$100 bills. I'm trying to take it south like I'm Kim Jong-il. This shit so real, I had to put it on film. Bitch might be a hoopty, but a booty on rims. Motherfucker, senorita, call me Flaco. But love the way I'm eating all the toppings off the taco. Ooh, so bravado, generous with the bottle. A couple Jewish lawyers claim to tell me what the cops know. Tickle the gato, got a girl singing vibrato. When I take it to the south side like my boys out in Chicago. And when I'm high though, I'm thumping like a Bible. I smash American tail like I was 5-0. Try and die slow, that fast shit too flashy. Try to be your humble cat, I'm too nasty. My crew catch me when I'm falling out of graces. A lot of faces in this crowd, now they flirtatious. I'm flirting with the other side of life, I'm Ouija. Keep my second players green like Luigi. They try and see me in the, don't know I'm fiending in the. My girl don't know where there's a penis or a penis in the.
That ass move, mad smooth for your majesty. If space is a vacuum, her pussy is a galaxy. Yeah, I could be an astronaut, and I'll explore your spaces. I'ma squeeze that ass a lot and come inside the matrix. She think that I'm the one, Morpheus. Eat the pussy, finger food, no fork and shit. Yeah, she a killer like that orca fish. I swear to God, I could die inside those orifices. I'ma smack it, I'ma serve it with a racket. Now your girl holla at me on the web like arachnid. And she don't even know about gymnastics. But I'ma make that ass do a backflip.
I'ma work it. If you really wanna hit it, I'ma serve it. I'ma twerk it. I'ma work it. If you really wanna hit it, if you really want it, I'ma twerk it. I'ma work it. If you really wanna hit it, I'ma serve it. I'ma twerk it. I'ma work it. If you really wanna hit it, if you really wanna hit it, twerk it, twerk. I'ma work it. If you really wanna hit it, I'ma serve it.
And we are back.
No, the theme song again. No, we're not new. We're back.
Are we on a new show?
New show, same show, same show. Still glass. Still glass.
I got confused.
I know. It was confusing when you hear that. That's like the reset button, right?
That's Pavlov's dog thing for me. I just go like, "Wur? Oh,
we're back. That was music by Hash Money. Check them out. Hash Money on Facebook. It's hashtag $.
The Hash Money Millionaires?
No, it's just Hash Money.
Let's properly introduce Jeff here now from Aqua Labs because he's kind of slithered in.
Yeah, exactly. It was commentary before, but now he's live on the mic.
He didn't know.
So, Jeff from Aqua Lab. If you don't know, check him out online, aqualab.com, Jeff. Yeah.
Aqualabtechnologies.com.
Technologies. Don't forget that.
I actually had to use your site all the time when I had my store to make sure I was pricing everything on top.
A lot of people use it.
We'd get stuff in and be like, how much was those for? I'm like, oh, no, check Aqua Lab.
I mean, it's a definitive source for glass. New glass, like collector's glass, production glass, whatever you're looking for.
Well, because after like 3 or 4 instances of someone going, well, I saw it on Aqua Labs for this much, I was like, fine, fuck it.
That's the price, yeah.
You became you guys should have been talking at that point. You could have been working numbers.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works in like comic books.
Come on.
Never thought about
Where were you at?
Never thought about it, yeah.
Price fixing by Aqua Lab.
So with that introduction.
So that was, what year did you guys start?
In 2007.
Yeah. And that was like, it was also kind of an interesting time too, because there wasn't really anything about oil at that time, really, was it?
No, just a lot of water hash and just a little bit of oil and a lot of flowers.
Tiny bit, like a tiny little bit of oil. So
I'm still all flower power.
I know you are.
Which is very rare for the glass community nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like the glass community had a lot to do with propagating what's now the 710 community. That definitely was
I'd
very
say so too,
connected.
because for the longest time, the only time I ever saw oil was in a glassblower studio.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were like,
because they could make something to smoke it out of.
Yeah. So
and this is an interesting period to me because, like, Adam, you were in Amsterdam.
Yep.
I was here, but I wasn't into that hippie shit. So I wasn't on any lots at all, until I was much older in life. So like I went into head
It's
shops.
the exact opposite of what you should have been. You go when you're young, you see, and then you become more resilient. You know? If you go there later, you're just like a custody.
You can't change the past now.
No, I was all punk rock and then hardcore
I
and
get
shit.
you. At least you were doing. I hope you were doing cutting edge for wherever the hell you were.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was doing. Yeah.
You were anti.
You were cutting edge.
I fucked the man for sure. You know.
I hope you were. I say.
But
I hope you were cutting edge.
That said,
that's what everyone's hot.
So we both missed out. We both missed out on like this early. I don't know. It's like a renaissance all of a sudden, where all these like kind of like tour kids started learning how to make this amazing new art form that hadn't been done, and it's kind of significant. And so I don't know. I kind of want that. The perspective of that I missed is really interesting to me.
You know, it's all developed with the Hashmaster Cut, kind of like too, help push the whole scene, and then small glass blowers building little globes and domes, and started with the glass nail, you know, basically, and just kind of developed on from that.
And what percentage now of what you sell is concentrate versus flower?
99.
No, we still sell a lot of flower stuff, to be honest with you. Just because we cover a lot of, you know,
right, every lot of different markets,
range of, you know, places and stuff.
And also the concentrates are still
hard to get in a lot of places.
And
outside.
Exactly. Now here in Colorado,
non-legal or medical.
Paul, when you had your store here in Denver,
we definitely sold way more concentrate stuff, like all the accessories and stuff. And I mean, that was one of the things that was a big success the year we had a booth at the Cup. Is I was like, all right, we're taking all the accessories for oil. We're taking
nails,
nails, dabbers, and extra cans of butane, like all that stuff. And I remember my crew was like, why are we taking all this shit? I was like, just watch.
Yeah.
And like,
that's smart.
Literally, like, you know, I had it set up where everyone had to work half day in the store and everyone had to work half day at the Cup. So, you know, when it was time for shift change, I'll be like, all right, bring like 10 more cases of butane, you know, bring another handful of dabbers.
I know my booth had to go get dabbers and tane from your booth multiple times. That Cup, like, no, straight up, like you covered it well, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like adapters and stuff like that to convert your pieces over. That's what we started out selling a lot of. I mean, just to help people convert flower pieces into oil pieces.
Yeah, because you don't want to buy a new piece.
Yeah, and people didn't have you know, oil all the time, so they needed it when they needed it. You know, not all the time. So.
Yeah, and that was the crazy thing too, because I ran stores in Texas before I moved out here and opened my own, and then the past year I went back and ran one there for a while before I moved back out here.
I heard oil's kind of off the chain in Texas right now.
It's getting there, you know. I mean, people still aren't too sure about it, you know. I mean, they're like,
because there's still shitty oil. I find that
that
correlates
it's real
very
shitty
much
oil,
to
and
shitty
it's
oil.
still, you know, such a new thing that they're still not sure what the lingo is. You know, they don't know if they can call it oil when they come in and start asking for stuff. Then you start showing them something, you know, even just an adapter, you know, to change the current piece. You know, they're still looking. Get into it $100. They're still like, oh,
right. Nail and torch. And
you know,
oil's interesting because it's a more expensive lifestyle, if you will. You know what I mean? You need a whole different set of
especially
accessories.
places there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know,
and
I mean,
the oil
like,
itself's more expensive and everything else.
and all the
Everything
products.
about
Because
it.
here, you know, we had the benefit of this is the biggest hotbed of glass blowers in the United States.
Was
right
that
here.
was that always, or was that related to the medical?
It's related to how big medical was
Connect
going off.
that to me connect that for me.
Well, you know, it's just, you know, like hanging out in studios and stuff in Texas, like even in like warehouse areas, there's still, you know, a car drives by and everyone gets kind of nervous because, you know, they're blowing glass and smoking weed. And there's like, is it a cop showing up? Is it anything like that? Here, you don't have that taboo. You don't have that fear. So all these guys are like, oh, well, I want to move here. Where?
And what year was that? Was that like 09, 06? Like the law's been in place since what? Like
I mean, from what I saw, like I got here in 2010. Yeah. And a lot of the glass blowers I was meeting there had just been getting here over the course of the past year or so, and they're still coming in even, you know, now. So it's definitely been going along with how the industry itself has, you know, really exploded and expanded. You know, it almost seems like the more dispensaries we get, the more glass blowers we get.
Interesting. And I know obviously a lot of kids want to become glass blowers now.
Yeah.
You know, I heard Joel's giving kids lessons now.
Yeah, we did a demo with Pam and Scott's kids from Rare Dankness.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's been a cool thing, you know. I mean, we've kind of seen that, you know, some of the parties I threw where I had glass blowers come out. You know, since it was a dispensary, you know, I could be open to all ages, and you know, some parents would bring their kids and they were just enthralled with it. You know, I remember, Warren and Georgia's son Gavin came to one of the parties, and they made him a little marble, and like it was like the greatest thing in the world to him. Like Georgia said, he like slept with it in his hand.
Well, I mean,
nights,
and that's not just a kid. Like glass blowing's amazing to watch.
Oh yeah, and the way it comes out, that's even something like. I mean, I come from a very conservative family. I'm the black sheep, and even to now, like my mom's kind of getting into it. She has a few marbles and pendants and seeing where it comes from. So it's starting to get, because of the art of it, it's starting to get into different people's hands that aren't just the marijuana smokers and partakers.
And that's pendants and marbles have been, I think, a huge thing.
Let it out of your hands.
And I don't know, were pendants really always a thing?
More is better.
In the bead world, I think in the bead glass blower industry, more than just
I mean, but in what we call the glass 710 community, whatever. And when did pendants really come into fashion?
Not too long.
They've kind of always been around as, I guess, for lack of a better term, almost a fringe item.
It was like a novelty, right?
Yeah, like a novelty. Like a store's buying a bunch of glass from a glass blower, and they have some pendants, and so a lot of times a glass blower would be like, "Oh, well, I'll just throw these pendants in."
Yeah,
and so it'd be a little something that one of the shops I ran, we had two separate rooms. The back room was all the pipes that was age restricted, and the front was clothing, all the little gag gifts, body jewelry, all kinds of stuff like that. So we could put those pendants out in that area, and that gets younger people into glass just because it's something new and different.
And I think I had like a mushroom pendant on hemp or something. That
we
had
so many of those.
Custody
for $8.99.
That ended up. I did not purchase that. That ended up in my hands.
Yeah, you had to get gifted those. You know that. You couldn't buy those. You had to be gifted. If you bought it, you were a chump.
Yeah.
But it's been cool how pendants and marbles and the little trinkets and stuff have almost bridged the gap from a glass collector strictly being someone who smokes marijuana, and now it's more something that's becoming more and more popular. I mean, even Christian Merwin a few years ago was on Oprah Winfrey's show.
Really?
And he's known for like these big intricate pendants. He makes pipes as well, but like I even remember when that was happening, the store I was working at, he called us, was like, "Hey, my episode's about to air, so if you want to get in before it gets crazy, like go ahead and place an order." So like we did, and we kind of thought, no, not really, but I mean, he's a well-known name now in glass blowing because of that, because he showed up with, and it was pendants and stuff. He didn't have any of his pipes on the show.
Right.
He was just showing some of the other things, and, all it takes is Oprah go, "This is amazing." And
I know, like, the first...
millions of people are going to buy it.
The first, like, nice piece I bought...
We need to have her do that for some of
was
our
a
stuff.
diesel tube, DZL, and it was this kid, Ari Metz, blew it, and he ended up moving to San Francisco and making chandeliers, and he was like, "Fuck making pipes," because I'm making gigantic multi-$100,000 chandeliers for hotels, like constant, like I'm back ordered.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
You got like Dale Chihuly. That, I mean, how expensive is it for him to come put in some glass bowls? Thousands of them, and huge places like Atlantis Resort. I think, doesn't he have a display right now at Botanical Gardens or something around here? And
what I always think is the most. Because, like, my wife's family is into art. Her mom's an artist and, works at the Art Alliance and all this. So, like, and so that kind of, like, the only glass blower style that she likes is Jag's. She loves Jag because it's that Art Deco, very classic. Yeah. But then as you kind of learn to appreciate the difficulty of a lot of the technique, when she started seeing people blowing glass, took a glass blowing, a little less and dabbled, totally changed it.
Yeah.
Totally opened her eyes. And I think when you start to appreciate, just how hard it is and how many hours go into something, because we're so used to not man-made products. We're used to machine-made produced, and
mass-produced in China.
Yeah, if that was mass-produced, piece of cake, man. They just print it on there. To do that shit by hand, I think
actually make it that way.
When I see it before my eyes, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, how do you control your hand that well?
And another thing, people don't take into account is, not only the artwork, the time it takes them to learn the techniques, then the time it takes them to perfect the techniques, all the pieces they lose along the way.
How long does that take? Like, how?
It's different for everyone, I mean,
of course.
And that's been kind of one of the things.
But like, if you were walking in and be like, "I want to start blowing glass right now. I want to be able to do this." Or that. Like, what are you going to tell me right off the bat? You got to be doing this for at least
a couple years to get to like this Rambler and micro level, for sure. You know, because it's based off of so many other techniques that they have to build upon to get to that point. And then another thing that really comes into play is your teacher, how good they are, what they can teach you. And I think that's why Colorado's become such a hotbed for this, is because there's so many here, and some of them will teach you. You know, that's what made me decide to pick up a torch and everything, is I was talking to a lot of the guys I became friends with through owning a store and just buying glass from them. And so many of them have offered, you know, I mean, you know, Joel's offered to teach me stuff, Rick and Marnie, Nate Myers, Lunchbox, you know, I mean, like, I'd be stupid to not take advantage of those opportunities, you know, that
even if you can't
these people who
crap.
have become my friends have offered, you know, to help me out with.
Even if you just make a big blob.
Yeah, which is all I'm going to be making for a while.
Paul blob.
Yeah.
It's my blob.
So how long have you been doing this and you're making blobs? Weeks or months?
I haven't started making any pipes yet. I've literally just gotten on and melted, made a few like little clear marbles and some stuff like that.
For how long?
Earlier this year.
It's a long time.
Couple months.
Yeah, but
you can do pipes for a couple. It's like karate or something.
Fake it till you make it, though. I can
Paint
see
the
you.
fence.
Yeah,
I can see you.
I mean, right now I'm working on building a studio in my garage, so that way I have access to it every day.
You need to do it every day.
I think you should go to every show and just put sold out and sit there and be like,
all worked out, as worked out as you can be.
Just
like,
work, build up my name.
Build your name up.
People like, well, what do you make? Can I place an order?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
sold out, bro.
Sold
and
out.
just play the hardball because you're good at that. You're good at that. I bet you get a huge career.
And then you can get to that point where it's like people will be like, look, I'm going to give you a $10,000 order. The first $10,000 of stuff that comes available, just ship it to me. I don't even want no
You're
blanket
looking
order.
like a year or two, bro.
Yeah, but then you know in a year or two, dude.
Exactly. And then about a year or two, when you got some skills, they're like, "Thank you."
Yeah. Now I can make some.
You have pre-sales already, dude. That's beautiful.
And they're all running around.
I kind of like this approach. I think I might try it.
That's yeah.
I know you can pull it off.
I'm backed up like a year.
Jeff's put your name on the site, hype you up.
You want to go ahead and place your order?
Let's do it.
Speaking of hype,
10%.
Let's hype up Chemdog a little bit,
discuss.
if that's cool. He gave us permission to auction some stuff off. I don't know, Adam, if you're looking at the chat room. Let's see if the chat room's interested in this.
Let's see. I never refreshed.
Adam doesn't know.
It's nice stuff. For sure.
I mean, it's. Can you do like auctions, like Antiques Roadshow? Like talk about the technique that's being used and what's going on in each of these for me.
See,
One of you guys.
I'm done. No?
Paul, sell me this.
Sell you that?
Sell me this. Yeah.
Sell me this.
I mean, you already own it. I don't care.
No, I don't. No. This is all
Sell to the
someone
auctioners.
else's, actually. Yeah.
Well, basically,
Hammer.
Going once, going twice. Who wants it? Who wants it?
Wait, and I'll get the starting bids in my phone. I have the numbers for everything.
Yeah, I mean this one should sell pretty quickly. I mean, this one's what's popular right now. It's a little 10 mil rig, you know, little mini Binger style, which is basically a small water pipe, dome instead of a bowl. Doesn't come with a nail, so you can get that from Aqua Lab Technologies.
Of course you can.
There you go.
You'll get a super
10
discount.
mil, highly educated.
Whatever you want to go with, you know, quartz or titanium. But one of the things I really like about Chemdog's glass is it's very classic styled. You know, it's in the realm of Dan Kay and Jerry Kelly and stuff like that, where they use a lot of the millies and a lot of the color changing combination to it. So, you know, as it gets used and gets dirty, you know, then some of the little...
So if you're real dirty, this is your kind of piece right here.
Which, let's face it, if you're smoking oil, you're a filthy motherfucker.
You grungy wook.
No, but the oil doesn't get grungy like
no, I'm saying you as an individual.
Oh, the actual
are
person.
grungy.
Yeah, of course.
And that's Paul. That's a 10 millimeter tube.
Thanks for that, John.
Yeah, 10 mil dome and ground joint.
So take a close look at it. I believe it has a lot of millis on there.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm already seeing, you know,
Skunk,
Pepe Le
Grateful
Pew,
Dead.
Grateful Dead, a couple different Grateful
Name
Dead
that
ones. Stars, looks like we got Uncle Sam with a skull, butterflies. You know,
it's so cool. It's like a time capsule, and it's crazy that he's made this like 2 weeks ago. You know?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's been kind of one of the cool things is seeing some of this come back. You know, it's like they say with everything. You know, and I'm sure you know Adam hears this with the fashion company, is the things come in cycles and it always comes back around.
Right,
and it really has because you know these guys, you know, like Jerry Kelly and Dan Kay that are
tie signed.
Yeah.
All right, so that now changes the whole game to me. It is signed, How does tie signing work? You get a piece of titanium and you write in the glass, and it holds.
We have those tie pins, and
Yeah.
just kind of.
That's crazy.
writes
Scratches
into
it in. So yeah. So this is actually by Chemdog, who's a good friend of the show.
Yeah, awesome. And this
and
also goes to
help support him through his current struggle with the man. We'll call it that.
Damn the man.
Yeah, and Chem's coming through it, and we do have a few of his pieces here. If you're interested, holler at us on the chat room, and we'll start getting some bidding going, auction style.
Yeah.
And we also do have the Chemdog Chillum to give away.
how are we gonna do that one?
That one
We have a question.
we're gonna be talking about in just a few minutes. So hold tight, get ready.
Hold tight, get ready.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just grab a pen because your chance to win the Chemdog Chillum is coming up.
We should do like some kind of like trivia something. Whoever has the first.
Well, I was gonna I was gonna like try to build hype and get people to be like, "Oh, dude, listen, they're about to give away the Chillum. Yo, you should check it out." But I guess we'll just start talking
Is
about
Kyle
it.
is Kyle around or something? It sounds like Kyle's online.
Yeah, that's everyone on the internet is Kyle to me. It's really weird. I found a fake Kyle Henderson who grows weed. Like I was like, why is Kyle not my friend anymore? That's weird. Kyle Henderson. I was like, oh, here's Kyle. Yeah, it's a grow room. And I was like, that's not Kyle. Fake Kyle. It was real weird.
Fake.
Kind of creepy. There's some creepy things going on recently. I'll add that to the.
I
submit that to the Midnight
He's a
Society.
doppelganger. There's a doppelganger.
Yeah. What did you call that before? Dabbleganger. Dabbleganger.
Something like that. Yeah.
So so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if you catch our notice on Facebook by either sharing the show, liking the show passionate, like if you invite like 800 of your friends to like the show and send us screenshots proving that, say to info@adamdunnshow.com or Mitch@adamdunnshow.com or Adam@adamdunnshow.com even.
Man, there's a lot of combos.
Yeah, options. Yeah.
I want an email address.
Maybe if you become a regular, we can negotiate it.
You know, if I have an email address, I'll become a regular.
Okay,
Whiny-
I see how
whiny
this goes.
ginger, whiny ginger bitch will do.
Ginger tears. Ginger tears at AdamDunnShow.com.
Yeah.
So you can also maybe send
Ginger
it to
Viking, damn it.
Ginger tears at AdamDunnShow.com.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. That's okay. That's acceptable.
But yes, catch our attention in some way. It could be on Twitter. We have a Twitter. It could be. We
You
don't have
twats are on Twitter.
Well, you're on YouTube though. You could be sharing our videos a lot on YouTube. You could be liking our posts a lot. Catch our attention on, and if there's a runoff, it'll be a random draw. But yeah, so you can shout us out and win this custom Chemdog one-hitter Chillum. Not a one-hitter. It's more chill. Chillum's like my favorite smoking piece. Weirdly
It's
enough,
the most unhealthy way to smoke, I think.
It's old school, though,
Everybody I
and,
know
like,
who
you do
smoked-
this
all
one.
the Italians we knew that smoked chillums. Oof, every single one of them had the
Cancer.
like
Black lung.
Well, were they mixing tobacco with it?
Well, yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah, well, I
Stupid
definitely
things.
don't smoke tobacco out of a Chillum.
that's
I
what
would not
mean.
recommend
That
that.
combination is just deadly.
And that soap bar hash, yeah, tobacco and soap bar hash is a bad combination for
And then when
Chillum.
they
I
tilt,
agree.
They tilt their head back, it kind of lines up everything perfect. And just goes straight to the bottom, and you see them all. They got the perma.
It's like a sword swallower, but you do
Kinda.
it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's
Good
the
tech. All right, shouts again to Way to Grow.
Way to go. Oh,
all
yes.
6 stores are rocking, waiting to sell you $400 lights. A $400, yeah, not just a light.
EPAPs.
E-Papillons.
All inclusive.
They won like the
everything.
High Times Best Product of the Year, I believe. And it's bulb ballast reflector, the whole deal. Like upgrade your whole shtick, right?
Yeah. And it's all Dutch designed and high tech, and it's very
Fuck
nice.
the Dutch.
No, they're so much better at precise things
They
than
just
we
know
are.
how to- yeah.
Because they have metric versus standard.
I mean, their
like,
thing
it's
is like,
easy.
the box that it comes in is like, oh, look at that, and then the one you get
How clever.
Look at
How
the other
clever.
one, you're like, are you
The
kidding
instructions
me?
are in a different
Try to
language.
pick up like 8 Raptors or something with your car. You'd be like, I gotta get 8 Raptors today. You're like, really? How many times?
You gotta rent a U-Haul.
You gotta go back and forth 20 times with a regular car if you want to do it.
Because you can only bring like a third of a Raptor.
You're like, no, it's terrible. So, definitely a good deal. $400. They're at all 6 stores.
Check them out, waytogrow.net. That's really the best place
And
to
you can
find
deliver.
them.
Deliver.
Dude, I heard that maybe is not maybe we shouldn't always say that they could do that. If you have a commercial business, if you got a warehouse, if you need like a pallet of soil, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it's not happening,
one bulb.
Yeah, like yeah. You might consider you're asking them to like they're not Domino's. No, but yeah, if you have a significant order.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
Significant
but
order.
hopefully, I think that comprises a considerable amount of our listener base.
It goes quick, I'm telling you.
Yeah. So yeah, Chemdog giveaway. Anything else you think people can do to get our attention by hyping the show?
Tattooing it on their
Sure,
face or something
sure.
like
Tattoo
that?
the logo.
That would be pretty cool.
Just the Adams like hat and beard logo.
Yeah. Over your face instead of your face.
Then you win it. Then you win that show. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I feel like I would give you one of the bigger pieces if you did that. I'd go in for myself.
I'd chip in for that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, hype the show. Show us something that like you actually want us to keep doing this thing. Oh, you can go on iTunes. That's one of the best ways to do it right now.
Just sign up.
Go on.
Show us
subscribe. Definitely subscribe to the show. And then go on like the iTunes podcast and rate us on there. Write a little review. It's use the same name on everything if you can, so we know you're you. And let us know. I mean, we definitely want to. So yeah.
Don't use my
name. Don't use Adam's name. That's weird.
Yeah. No.
That's weird. Paul, you're weird. You're weirding up the show. I don't know if you're getting an email address. Weird ginger tears at AdamDunnShow.com.
I'll take it. He's good for that.
Ginger weirds.
So, what do we got coming up now? We got this on the Chemdog giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about how cool it is that I didn't even know Chemdog blew glass.
Either did I, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So good.
I never knew that.
I didn't either.
I wonder if he's new to it. I wonder if it's something he's been doing all this time.
He's definitely been doing it for a while.
Well, obviously by the technique.
He's been collecting millies too.
Yeah, definitely collected millies. Unless he made all those, which is even crazier.
Well, isn't he up in Massachusetts?
He's in the New England area.
Yeah, because I know that's Jerry Kelly who does a lot of those millies. And given the style, it seems
here's
like they're
something from Chem, by the way, that I'd like to put out to the world. If you like Chem's glass or you like Chemdog as a man, and you have a connection, Adam, you might have this connection to a sneak. Chemdog's apparently a huge sneakerhead.
Ooh.
Did you know that? Custom kicks would make him really excited. Nikes he mentioned specifically. I don't know any Nike connects, but I have some underground shoe company connects.
Custom
but Chemdog kicks.
I got a friend who works for Nike.
That would
work. Does he like Chemdog? It's the real Chemdog.
Probably he likes glass.
Okay. Let's make that connection. There you go, Chem. I hope you're listening, bud.
Put some glass tips on the laces or something like that, little beads on the end.
That would be dope. Yeah, figure something out. It would also be like what girls wore.
Remember
those? Do you remember bow biters? Does anyone remember bow biters? They were these they were my little brother's age had them. They were these little figures, and that you could squeeze their heads, and they would be biting your shoelaces to hold your knots for kids who couldn't.
I remember that.
And they were cool, awesome monsters and sweet little.
You must be young, man.
I forgot all about that.
Those things were sweet, right? No, anyone else? No, my brother had Fozzie Bear.
I knew how to tie my shoelaces.
Yeah, he's like,
You still don't know how to tie your shoelaces. What are you talking about?
Bro, I got zippers on my sneakers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wear slide-ons.
You wear slide-ons. Slide-ons are good, though. They're for summertime in Colorado. I don't know about the no socks thing. That's something that just dude, I knew this kid. I don't know if this is a Canadian thing. He was a Canadian kid. But he wore, boots with no socks.
That's a good look.
Sort of construction boots type things. With those, or duck boots, actually. You know the duck boots where there's and that was his everyday. There wasn't a lot of snow on the ground, and that's what he was rocking. And I don't know if it was a kid thing or it was just weird. And
that might be a Canadian thing because I grew up playing ice hockey when I'd go to some of these camps where they'd bring down Canadian instructors.
Yeah,
those guys never wore socks with their skates.
What?
It's the weirdest thing ever.
You can't do that in an athletic shoe.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, blisters and all that.
Doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right.
All right. Shouts
now
to
that we've done
Incredibles.
that, now that we've dispelled
Another
that.
reason to hate Canadians.
Just to not understand their strange ways.
You're just
Hey, they played a big part in Glass, didn't they?
I ostracize everyone. What are you talking about? I thought that's why you wanted me
Did
here.
Canada have any impact?
I talk shit about everything and everyone.
I have
No
Canadian
holds barred.
friends. I have
Yeah, we have
distributors.
Canadian
No filter.
listeners.
Yeah, we have lots of them.
We're
Now they're very
international,
insulted by
Paulie
you.
G.
I mean, Christian's one of my closest friends. I make fun of him for being Mexican all the time.
That's not gonna, for a guy whose Glass is sold out. He's not,
So well,
No one's safe with me.
Nobody.
One is.
Shouts to Incredibles again. Check them out if you're in Colorado. The best edible in Colorado. I wonder if that's what Maureen Dowd ate. Do we know?
I hope so.
I would love to know.
The Mile Higher bar.
No, it was 100 milligrams. I think she said.
Yeah, she should have went Firebird. Burned up.
I mean, even I won't eat 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
It's if
That's
you've
kinda
trained,
standard, I'd say.
it's like running. It's like running not 100 miles, but more than 100 meters. I don't know what it's equivalent to running, but you got to train. You got to build up to it. You can't just do it, but you can get there pretty quick. 2 weeks, no problem. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, if you want to and you're dedicated. No,
The-
like part of a
what
candy bar,
I read in
oh, that
Maureen
fucked me up
Dowd's
too
thing,
much. I won't eat
especially
one
if
for
it
like
was
3 more
Incredibles,
months.
because this is what happens to me with it whenever I eat Incredibles is. You take a bite, you're like, all right, this whole bar is 250 milligrams. I'm shooting for about 50 right now. I'm going to chill out and watch a movie. Cool. You take, a fifth of it. You're like, man, that was actually really good, first of all. And
that's the problem.
That was really, I want more of that.
Exactly.
They should almost sell them a 2-pack, like a
non-medicated.
Yeah.
I've been asking for that. That one
So
day
that's
they did
what
give me a
happened to Maureen Dowd.
non-medicated
She
one.
got high and she was like, "Oh man, this is monkey bar is fucking banging," and she went back. And I mean, it's happened to the best of us, Maureen. Welcome to the team, and you could be on the show anytime.
I mean, some of us just didn't know.
Yeah, we have another product. They could make like a kind of recovery bar. You could eat like emergency recovery bar, spinning out.
Like the morning after bar.
Just like
the morning after
brings
bar.
you back.
Is there anything that you can just would that take you down from being high? Would it just crush you out?
No, bring down the high.
Well, I know that would modulate it, but is there any emergency they would give you this at the cop hospital would inject you with some oh, you're not sober.
I mean, what do you do? Just slam a Red Bull? I mean, wouldn't that kind of be the opposite?
No way, dude. If you're too far gone on it, if you eat an orange and chocolate, it makes you more high, right? Is that what they say? Oranges and chocolate. Adam, I know you know this.
I don't know about that. Orange
No, well, I know it's not
hate
true.
Orange. I don't like it because it's orange.
I like those chocolate oranges are pretty good. All right, how about we talk more about
Adam's
Glass?
racist against
We got
oranges.
Glass people listening.
Yeah, we do.
So Glass today and tomorrow, we're talking about this kind of renaissance that we're currently in. I think start with Colorado, sort of at its hub.
Mangoes. We're getting.
I mean, it's definitely become more mainstream since coming to Colorado. For the longest time, everything was coming out of the Pacific Northwest.
Right.
Oregon and Washington State. And they stayed pretty underground. I mean, even the old school guys are still up there. They're still keep to themselves, kind of people. And, things like, I think one of the things that really launched it into the mainstream was Operation Pipe Dreams. When they went through and raided all those shops and distributors, then it became on the news. Then people started paying attention to it.
So it almost worked backwards.
Yeah.
The way it's working with Dabs, I think, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, I remember the store I used to shop at the day after Operation Pipe Dreams. I went in there and, all of the special high-end stuff was gone. They took it to the owner's house just in case. We don't know what else is happening because they got their glass from some of the distributors that, did get busted in that.
Right.
Was that for crossing state lines originally? Was that
They did these
Pennsylvania or
really
something?
shady orders.
there's
Well,
apparently
the Chong
there's
documentary, they set him up with the pallet, right? And they
It was the
paid
sort of
him
order,
cash
though.
and then had him ship it or something.
Yeah, it was weird, and they kept changing. You would feel like there's something weird with this order. You
there's
should've-
2 counties in the whole United States. I think
Right.
one's in Pennsylvania
Right.
and
One's
one's
in
somewhere
Iowa
up
or
north.
whatever, yeah.
That glass pipes are illegal.
Illegal.
Completely illegal.
even for tobacco.
Yeah, so they set those up, having them shipped to those counties. I mean, how are you going to know that as someone?
Jeff, do you have
states
shipping?
away?
Our site won't ship to
Certain states?
We don't. We just added Florida back, I think, but we don't ship to Iowa.
You kind of take it upon the customer to know his laws and allow it.
And you just do it, yeah. And you just put it on that.
And also, one of the things that I plan on doing with my site is I'm selling art. I'm not selling.
Right, you're not selling. If you're smoking out of that, that's stupid. That's like doing lines off the Mona Lisa, you asshole.
Yeah. You're devaluing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, there were years ago as this, started coming out, becoming an art form. I'm pretty sure it was Chris Carlson who said this, but in an interview, someone asked him, "Well, how do you make a living producing art?" And he said, "Push a bowl in it."
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's a weird dichotomy too. Glass, and it's cool that it's going that way. And it's where I think of graffiti so much because that was something that no one had commodified. It was something that you did for rep and passion, and maybe you did like a gallery show and sold some canvases, but no one took that seriously. You did some jackets, no one took that seriously. But then the art world got interested, and interestingly, it wasn't like the dope bombers who got picked up. It was like Basquiat, the ones who had a very unique style, but what is sort of inspired by it, but that were more
accessible.
For sure, accessible. Adam, you own an art gallery. Why don't you talk about glass as an art form a little?
Sure. I mean, like in '93 when I had when Harris and those guys came over. I mean, it was infantile, but yet it was definitely art. Because everything was. There wasn't really a set style.
It was like this style, right?
Yeah, it was exactly like that. And it was like not a set whole style. It was sidecars and all sort of different, things coming out of it. And like I said, the marbles and the obvious art side of it all. Like I got a bunch of nice marbles out of the years, people coming through and stuff. And, a lot of times you didn't see the value, and now you see people online who are just like, that's it. They're all about it. That's all they do.
Oh, yeah.
They just like
Big
live,
collection.
breathe, marbles. So you see... without even knowing that's the cool part about this too, is like we're all into the being able to smoke out of it and the functionality of it.
Yeah.
But they're torn between, a lot of the people are torn, you'll see people with ugly ass pieces, but to them it's the most beautiful thing in the world. So that is art in itself.
That's
right
like
there,
my first piece. I remember my first piece was like
piece
some
grows
shitty,
on you. And you use it every day. And
you name it, people name their piece, and then like you just trip out. You get. When I first started smoking, you get high and stare at your piece. You'd save up for a bunch of money.
That was half.
That's why you wanted. Why you wanted a heady
that
piece,
is kind of where the heady pieces came from,
right?
And I remember when I had Marble Slinger out here when we did the Degenerate Art screening at the Oriental.
Yeah,
and it was really cool getting to spend time with him, because he's, a very different personality, and that's one of the cool things is meeting all these glass blowers and seeing where they come from and their views on it. And one of the things that really stuck with me, he said, is smoking pot is almost like a sacred event that you do with your friends. Like it's something that y'all bond over and everything. So to be able to make that piece, that vessel that connects them to the activity they do, is like it's an amazing feeling.
Sure.
And then people like want your piece for that exact event.
Absolutely. And that's kind of at the core, I think, of wanting to collect pieces, being like, going in the store, and that's a great thing, owning a head shop or hanging out in head shops where you see whoever it is, some young kid or someone older who has a lot of pieces, that feeling where you're like, that's my one. That piece speaks to me. There's 40 pieces up there, and then boom, that one.
Yeah.
And it's different for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's how I got into collecting. At first, it was just, I never wanted to clean my spoons. So when it would get too dirty, I'd just go buy another one. So for the longest time, I just had more and more spoons. Then I remember, this is a shop I actually ended up working at and running for years, but when they first started getting headies, like that was the first one I went in, I was like, I got to have that piece right there. How much is it? And
there are other pieces that are cool or whatever, but there's one
but
that's
that was
yours.
The one out of that whole case of all those high-end special ones. That's the one I wanted.
Yeah.
And I started getting a good relationship with them because, it got to a point where I was buying some stuff. A couple of my buddies were, and then obviously other people were too. So they started getting more and more. And I talked to them one day. I was like, "Hey, y'all are getting stuff like way quicker than I can buy it. Can we start doing like a layaway or something?" And like that store actually started doing layaway for me, and then it ended up becoming like a huge part of their business. Like I still have the first sheet. It was like handwritten, like Paul Garrett agrees to give by this date and all this.
Yeah.
And then now it's like they have an actual form there and everything, and like you get. If you get someone to put a high-end piece on layaway, it's like a $5 bonus for the employee. So like. It's become a part of their culture,
and
you kind of have the option too. It's like, hey, do you want us to leave your piece out? We'll put your name on it so people can see it's sold.
Like an
and
art
it's
gallery
yours,
style.
Or
Yeah.
we'll put it in the back for you. You know, whichever you want.
And that's the evolution of glass. I think is going more towards the art gallery type thing.
Oh, it definitely is.
sure.
I mean, look at
That's
Illusions here in town.
Yeah.
I mean,
And when we talk about the evolution of glass, I'm very excited to bring on the next caller. You want to do the intro, Adam, or may I?
We call it. We got the
Dougie Fresh from Hitman.
Are you lined up with it at all?
Yeah,
No.
right here. Sorry, I wanted to show that to Chris.
So yeah, we're gonna give
take his
Dougie a
copy of the
call,
sheet that you have a copy of right in front of you.
from Hitman Glass, who's been tearing it up on the scene and basically
For quite a few years.
Since 2010, I want to say, was when they hit
When it
my
started
radar.
Hitman,
I think that's when I first saw
2009,
it, too.
2010.
2000, right? The torch
person you
tube's
are
really
trying
the
to
first
reach
thing.
is not accept.
Oh, they do not accept calls, so maybe we didn't
maybe hold on.
book that proper. Adam's going to check
I'm
into
very
that.
good at that.
But I mean, we can
my
keep
screen's
talking
clear.
about. Have you seen the Fresh Tech yet? My boy Eddie Funkster. Shouts to Eddie. I think he's listening today. But Eddie's close to Dougie, and he told me about the Fresh Tech and showed me some of that. Have you?
I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, it's like this iridescent. It's almost like it's not a decal, but
It's
it's
a
some sort of
dichro.
iridescent. It's a dichro finish they put
Something,
on there.
yeah.
Oh, I've
It's
seen that
crazy.
on a couple
yeah,
pieces.
Yeah. And it's like weird. It's almost like a hologram. It looks like a
Yeah.
hologram. The effect. It's super interesting.
With the dichro with the background, or what is it?
I don't know how. Is it like dichro fuming? I don't know enough about glass
Yeah, I
blowing
don't
to
know
even
the
describe
full
it.
story.
I'm not sure what it is. I've just
I know
seen it.
And it
Developed
looks almost
and
stenciled
the pattern's
on.
better. So the patterns are definitely
Yeah, it's like
creative.
it's like all over pattern.
Always the wrong number.
It's the Adam Dunn specialty.
I just want to call random people.
Hello.
Hello there, is that Dougie?
Hello there.
Hey, how you doing? You're on the Adam Dunn Show with, with Mitch and with Jeff from Aqua Labs.
Yo.
And Paul Garrett, the ginger whiner in the corner. There you go.
Awesome, man. What's cracking?
And of
How you
course,
guys
Adam
doing?
Dunn.
We're doing good. We've just been kind of going through the whole evolution of glass, and obviously we're kind of coming towards now. It's not in the modern age, and you've been like we said earlier, you've been tearing it up since around 2009 or so, and we just want to.
This one got into it, yeah.
Yeah, so just want to get you kind of rolling in here and giving us your take, and also obviously we're going to hype up your event and all that stuff down the road, so don't worry.
And I feel I just to line people up, Dougie. I just got to say, from being at all the cups at the same time, I've seen you and your company through patronizing amazing artists and bringing them into collaborations, and you brought consciousness to a lot of the glass community and a lot of the better artists out there, and it's been really inspiring to see, and it's been a huge service to the community. I think you did a lot of outreach for sort of the 710 culture, of course.
Oh man, that means a lot, dude. Coming from you, brother, it really does. And I mean, dude, we're out in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? It's an industry that I consider myself part of, and I've played the role, or a lot of different roles of being part of the glass industry, all the way from being a collector when I had an expendable income back home in Boston to managing a head shop in Boston for a while, and then going out and buying glass for that head shop at trade shows, which is really like a real opening for me to like meet all these people I looked up to. And at this point now, obviously it's developed into me working with all these people I've looked up to for years, and it's definitely a dream come true in that sense. But it's a lot of work and a lot of travel and a lot of packing up pipes and unpacking pipes, and
it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man. But it's like something I truly love to do, and I mean, honestly, man, it's the best career I could ever ask for, and it's just unbelievable to watch the development of it from when I got into it, even and we started smoking hash probably 2008, 2009, where I was smoking a lot of oil, and before then we were smoking bubble hash and this and that. But man, like the glass has just developed so much around what's popular, and the whole like small phenomenon and mini phenomenon and this and that is just
it's crazy to watch where it goes and how quickly it moves, you know?
Yeah, like
So-
portability, cleanliness, function, getting that smooth, cool hit, oil rip in your on the go is like where it kind of seems to have and that's the slop cups popping off because they're sort of a heady innovation off that, and a lot of Hitman shit. The Phase 2 bringing it down in size and keeping it really styling.
Well, that's the other thing, keeping it affordable too, man. And originally, when I first came into the scene, I was really inspired by Steve Bates, who I met on like Festi Tour, and he was like a real inspiration to me. Him and his group of friends up in Maine, and it's really originally that's what Hitman was inspired by. And at this point now, I'm like designing a lot of the pipes to the line myself, and designing perks and designing different stuff. But originally it was Steve's designs, and I was looking at it a lot more objectively per se. Where now I'm kind of like, designing shit myself and this and that. But back then the pipes were huge, man. Like when we started Hitman, it was huge rigs, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I like big
bigger
bongs,
the better.
Yeah. I like big pipes. We were still in our weed vibe or whatever. And yeah, man. I mean, I like smoking oil out of big rigs, man. Until enough people were like, "Yo, dude, what the fuck?"
Flavor
This is a
savers.
little crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's just funny to see that's what ends up happening, is I mean,
Like cell
everybody
phones
wants
right now.
small
It's
pipes,
getting
and
smaller.
It took a while for me to get around,
I see some small rigs.
Well, and that's true. Like Adam pointed out a good point. Like everything, computers getting smaller, cell phones TVs are getting bigger, rigs are
flatter.
getting smaller. Yeah, they're getting flatter. Rigs are getting more intricate and
well,
smaller.
yeah, if you get a headpiece, you go big. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah,
people,
for
it's
sure.
hard to buy to spend, $10,000 on something like you could fit in your hand, but you get a banjo headpiece or one of these elbow and Joe P pieces, you're talking about wanting something a little more extravagant for your money, but the function is all downsized now,
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And it's crazy, to consider. That's another thing that we were talking about before. How technical it is to do that precise a job, scientific style glass blowing that small.
Yeah,
that's like really.
And then people don't understand. They're like, "Yo, it's small. It should be cheaper." This and that, and it's like, yo, to a certain extent, like making these cuts on the percolator that small.
Yeah,
it's fucking hard, bro.
It takes
And
more
it's
work to not
people
fuck it up.
They're not thinking about it. You know what I mean? They're not really thinking about what goes into this. And there is a lot of fucking work, man.
It's like
a lot
making
of
kids'
legit-
clothes. Costs the same
all
amount as
that
making
stuff.
regular people's clothes. And you're like, oh, man. But it's the same amount of work, really, even though the stitches are shorter. But they're even more
But you're
intricate.
using a machine to make clothes. This is like all. That's the
Oh,
thing
I know,
about
I'm just
glass
telling you,
blowing.
in
It's
general.
done by hand. Yeah, no, you're right. So, Dougie, we want to. And your Chalice event is gaining hype. We got some hype materials with us here. Yo, Adam, let me see that Chalice flyer. Yeah. So I don't know.
Take a
I don't
break from
want
eating your
to.
nails.
I don't want to leak anything, but I
am
don't know. Can you
multitasking?
bring people up to speed?
Getting stupider.
Basically, yeah, man. I got one announcement today. I'll probably just make here because I just paid the dude right now. We just were announcing E40 today, Doc. We got Soundtrap Sector 9, Les Claypool, Hieroglyphic, E40, Mac Lethal, Marlon Asher. We got a really solid lineup of hip hop the first day and kind of that trancey kind of like jam shit on the second day, and I'm excited, man.
Yeah. So is it a full? Is there camping? Is it like a full on festival or?
It's not camping.
Not camping,
That's
okay.
the one thing that's lacking, But I mean, it's a 2-day festival. It's 12 to 12 each day. 12, 1 o'clock in the morning type shit. Headliners tend to go on to 10, 11 o'clock. SCF9 will be playing almost a 2-hour set on Sunday.
That's dope.
Les Claypool will be playing with his duo-day twang for about an hour on Sunday.
So is
and
the-
it's just all this music that I love. You know what I mean? And like, if I had had more time, I would have had more music. But then again, like, this is really my first doing this shit myself and trying to figure out how to.
No,
it's
it
sounds like epic.
dope lineup,
Sounds
dude.
like an epic
Yeah. You don't have to apologize for anything. It's and I'm really, So is the music like the centerpiece, or is it how? And where's the glass blowing fit in?
My pitch with this is I wanted to combine like the vibe of like a high time cup kind of thing with that social like medicating area vibe or like consumption area vibe with a music festival successfully, where it was like people would go for the music and learn about our culture.
Yeah, man,
and,
that's
also I have so many, I have almost 75 glass artists coming out. There'll be live demos on site. It'll be really cool for the kids to be able to, meet all these guys and have the opportunity to shake someone's hand if someone's pipe you've been using for a long time,
And I think it's I think it's needed to happen for so long, truly combining, what is like a flea market kind of at the Cup with that sort of festival cultural experience. And
yeah, man. And me personally, I think that I just wanted to kind of take that jump and go for it. Like I think that I believe in it. I think people will come to it. It's like that Wayne's World shit where they're like, still that they will come with the fucking Indian with the weird shit on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. But I truly believe that people will, come out and show support.
And so it's July 12th through 13th in San Bernardino.
San Bernardino, and Adam, I'd love to have you come out, like I said, and be part of the seminar stuff. And I got I got Kenny from Trichrome Technologies that's doing a lot of work with the seminar stuff. We got Mila speaking and Hash Bean coming out, and just a bunch of people coming out, man. And I'm really excited to kind of have an interactive space there for stuff about concentrates, and talk about concentrates. And just these guys speaking, so.
Yeah, no, definitely sounds like an awesome lineup.
And I read in some of the early press, like you chose the name Chalice, obviously, like a reference to the Rastafari pipes. There's a spiritual component to this?
Absolutely, man. It's actually marijuana. It means marijuana is a sacrament. Also like a Rastafarian type culture. And for me, man, I just feel that I've really stayed true to the fact that my body agrees with weed, and, I wanted to stay true to the fact that, pot matched up with me. And I'm not going to say that it's a spiritual thing for me, and it has been in my life, and, a place of relaxation and yeah, man, I just think it's a great name. It also means the cup of all cups.
The cup of all cups element to it, for sure. Yeah.
It's like symbolism of vagina, dude, to be real with you. I know all the meanings of it,
Yeah.
But the main ones are the cup of all cups, and cannabis is a sacrament, and also a water bomb.
Yeah.
Is what it's symbolizing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it has a really cool symbolism in our culture, and it's a brand that I've been building for a while and didn't really know how to introduce it into our culture, and I think this festival's a good way to introduce it.
Yeah, dude. Well, and where can people find out more about it if they want to check out? Maybe try to make plans to get out there. How can they get connected?
And you can check us out on the website, which is chalicecalifornia.com or chalicefestival.com. I'll route you to the same one. There's tickets available on there. There's still some judging passes available. And then we have a really respected panel of private judges that I'm really excited to have out. I think it's a good mix of younger generation and some older generation. And, I think that's important, man, to get the perspective. And, I'm taking the competition part of it very seriously. And honestly, I've never done anything this professional in my entire life. I feel like Hitman's borderline professional, but more like I pulled it off. So this one will hopefully be the, a real step in the right direction as far as streamlining what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, man. Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck, and definitely if you want to, we'll try to connect you with Adam and see if we can get that scheduling going.
Yeah, first class tickets always help.
Yeah, first class tickets and penthouse accommodations.
Of course. I think
you can fly coach. You can stay at a Motel 6. Get your ass.
Right on. Thanks for taking the time with us, Dougie. We're coming up on the end of the show here, but let's definitely do this again, man. It's always great to have your perspective on.
And we'll definitely hype that. We'll hype your show for you.
To be on the show, I got a lot of respect for you guys and what you're doing. So always an honor. So.
Thanks, brother, man.
Thanks.
Right on.
I think he's going to bring it here too if he gets it.
I think that was
good. Yeah,
I think that was the idea. Yeah,
that's good. So, what do we think? What's the chat room say? Did everyone learn about glass today? Glass class.
Learn something new at least.
Did you learn something new, Paul?
Always.
I learned some shit.
Yeah, that's important for people to learn.
That's the idea.
Glass, grass, or ass.
Yeah, there you got to make
ass,
your joke.
gas, or grass. No one runs for free.
Glass.
Yeah. Glass.
Grass or ass.
Adam doesn't need
That's
any
it.
grass.
I don't need no grass.
He's got seeds popping out his beard. I honestly like.
That's where he breeds them.
Yeah, that's the intro. Pop out of his beard. Have you ever smuggled anything in your beard, Adam? Can you say that on the air? Or are you just saying that because you can't?
I never
say
really
that?
had a beard until I moved here, pretty much. I had one a little bit in Amsterdam, but it was never like Colorado burl.
Dude,
like
the crazy
So you became a
thing
Wookiee once you got
when
here.
you got
huh?
here,
Of
yeah.
course.
You became the Wookiee.
Moved to Colorado to
Wookiee.
become a Wookiee.
Yeah, that's what you do, right?
Dude, what year did the hat come into the ensemble?
Different hats, different times.
Different
but
hats.
Not so. Also late. Like I didn't wear hats too much. I just
That was
used
in
to have-
Colorado?
I always had colored hair and colored beards, or like colored goatee or
And the
something.
ring.
I always had the ring.
The ring's classic.
Rings, yeah, that's fair.
That's the second one, right?
Yeah, I burned out the other one and melted it down after just
Yeah, grinding.
grinded it down.
Literally grinding. That's where the term comes from. It comes from Adam's ring. Put that etymology in Webster.
Yeah. But so let's last shout outs to everybody.
Last shout outs, yeah.
What do you come on.
Well, Paul G.
Paul.
Glass. Obviously, Aqua Lab's probably going to get the first order, so you're probably like 3 years out now. But if you want,
Oh yeah.
the hottest, the hottest guy out there, Paul G.
You'll just have to wait.
It's probably like 3
Paul-
years out, but you
Paul
can
G
contact
is
through the
totally-
show.
Yeah, contact me. Weird ginger tears.
Yeah,
at the Adam
weird
Dunn
ginger
Show.
tears at Adam Dunn Show. More immediately, the Chemdog glass giveaway. Shout us out: Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, podcasts, everywhere. You know, do whatever.
Danny
First
time-
person with an Adam Dunn Show tattoo.
Danny
wins it.
timelined me with the Castro hat. He said, "Cop to it." He said, "Cop to
Cop
it."
to it. Or you know, go.
Castro, yes, Danny. Castro hat was probably one of the first that I really
first
rocked
hat.
hard.
I mean, it goes. You didn't have the Castro beard yet.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Castro
Of course I had the Castro beard. But
Okay,
that's
just
more.
wanna
That's
make sure
not
it was a
as.
full
Now
ensemble.
it's even more Castro. Like
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
later
saying.
years. Now it's the later years. Yeah, scrambled up like that.
Also for the Chemdog thing, I don't know, like to go paint a logo on a freeway and send us a picture. or
Shout out
something.
to my
Stencil graffiti.
Yeah,
the best
mom,
one
of
gets
course.
it.
To my mom out on the farm.
Oh yeah, shouts to
Shouts
Ace, the farm,
out on the farm.
Alfie, Ryan.
Oh yeah, Ryan's on the
Ryan
farm. now,
on the
too.
farm.
Ryan's on the farm. Hey, he's on the farm.
Farmer
Hey, there he
Ryan.
is.
Over
Farmer Ryan.
Farmer Ryan. All right. And Kojak, of course, out there. And later we have Rasta going out there. So what a good combo, right?
Are we just calling him Rasta?
No, the other guy. No, his name is Kojak. Rasta's going out there. Rasta's a white guy, of course, because that's how white guys call themselves.
Yeah.
Kojak is a Rasta. So
Oh, that's perfect.
He wouldn't
for,
call
like-
himself Rasta. He's a Rasta.
that's-
Yeah, no, but it's
Like
kind
you
of
call the tall guy Shorty.
well, that is obvious.
We call
The
him
big
Lefty.
fat guy, Tiny.
Yeah, exactly.
And then let's see. Well, also down at the Hood Lab is come down if you're in the area because we only got 45 days left, so things are getting rough. It's getting tight. It's getting scary. We don't even know where we're going yet. Well, we don't know where we're going yet. I have no idea.
Do you ever know where you're going?
Not really.
The king.
So,
I try to-
so this is just par for the course.
Par for the course, but nobody knows
on
where I'm going.
schedule,
That's the thing.
yeah.
Now, what are you guys going to all do? What are y'all going to do?
I'll come hang out at your house. I know where you live.
Nobody's
moving. You didn't hear
I have to
that?
move from my house too. You don't even know where that is either.
Yeah.
So, how's that for mystery man?
Mysterious.
I'll just be gone. You guys will all cry. I'll be like you. I'll leave town. I'm leaving.
Just disappear.
Yeah,
You're
like
gonna
you
turn
did.
ginger and sad.
I'm gonna
You turn into a ginger,
I
get
have
back to
some
Texas
ginger-
for a year.
I do have some ginger in my beard, so I might come out.
Is it
and-
that tears bleach
That's
out
tears.
the color and
It's the
make it
tears
leave the
coming down.
ginger? Is it like sunning?
And that's why you're
Tears are like
I get
It
that.
might be. It really might be.
It might be.
And yours just soaked in it.
Adam family shouts.
Family
Family shouts.
Family shout outs again to lovely wife Cece out there in Stockholm, actually out in the middle of near Stockholm, somewhere in a little island with little boy Nick killing it. Don't try to kill too many animals, Nick. I know you will. I know he's going into he's going to go into full mode when he gets there because it's like
turn into a straight up Viking.
Yeah, I think so. It's in the blood.
Come back with a little Thor's hammer. I got to give shouts, obviously, to my lovely wife, Reese, and our amazing little daughter, Farron. Dude, kids are insane. They're really smart. It's awesome. I thought it was going to be like a little plant, but really smart. Excellent. So thanks, guys, for listening. Connect with us online. Tell us how much you loved the show. And
keep an eye out for big stuff soon, right?
Yeah, real big stuff coming soon.
Also, my birthday's on Sunday. Usually I talk about it for years. But
your birthday.
My birthday is the most important day of the year.
It's like the real 420.
Everybody knows that. Come on, don't they? No, in Amsterdam I had legendary parties. Here, I'm taking it easy. But no, we're having a party on Saturday night. It'll probably keep on going till Sunday. But
whoa.
No.
Hash lammies?
Oh, yeah. Slammy lammies.
Yeah, you're making lammies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For real? I've heard you did that at your birthday party. I heard stories
happen.
of lobsters and lammies at Adam's birthday
happen
party.
at the birthday. So
you can't plan
But what happens there stays there.
Yeah. Well, he has the same approach to his birthday as real estate, which is
exactly. So if you're in the area Saturday night, come on through. And like I said, 45 days left, so keep your ears open.
Burn that mother down, dude.
Give me big bags of money so I can move somewhere good. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And if you want to sponsor the show,
that would help.
We're good. You know you love Way to Grow. You know you love Incredibles.
Oh, and also, what about our? We have to do our Boulder Wellness real quick.
Boulder Wellness, of course.
Boulder
Wellness.
Like in every show.
Yeah.
Just tagging it on there. But you guys, this is the best. Some of the best weed in
Boulder County, for sure.
All of Colorado.
All of Colorado, for sure.
People are driving.
Therefore, all of America, and again, all of the world. Some of the best weed in the world.
Universe.
In all of space. Dude, I just read today that all of our space is a singularity. Some crazy dude's theory. I got to look into it more.
Well, we're just one little. Like that?
We're inside a black hole, and that's our universe. But there's mad black holes, obviously, and boom.
Hope so.
So yeah, maybe we'll do that one on our 33rd episode when we do our crazy.
I hope so. I don't want to live in anything but a black hole. Does that mean you don't have to pay taxes?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
but we're in a black hole. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week.
Next week.